What up, world? Let me get the horn in or whatnot. I think I missed the DJ horn. Yes. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you, Coop. How you doing, sir?
Rested and well,
That's what's up. Same here,
full of the
man.
fury.
We're gonna get into the basketball talk early because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
We want to talk some music and talk some albums, and I'm just gonna be frank. It's been a weak year as far as hip hop albums go. But we're gonna get into that. I want to say this. When I saw the Frenchman on the board yesterday, obviously, he's been a high profile pick in the NBA draft.
French.
Um, yeah, and I saw the odds of who would get the top pick. I said they're gonna get the Spurs this player, and lo and behold, Spurs get the number one pick. We talked about this before. We talked about that when it comes to Carmelo and the Detroit thing. I do think there's a lot of organizing when it comes to getting who to where in the NBA. And I said to myself last night, if the Spurs get number one pick, and I said this before the draft, before any of the chances, went further and further, I was like, I know the NBA's fixed when it comes to the draft.
And I'm like, the Spurs as a franchise have existed for about 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA draft, as we know it, with the lottery ball, started in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mike, they were not incentivized at all to give the San Antonio Spurs David Robinson in 1987. In 1997 was literally the luckiest thing that ever happened to an NBA franchise in history because
So you
people
believe
forget.
it's luck?
People forget. Yes, people forget. The only reason that the Spurs ended up even in the lottery was because David Robinson got hurt that season.
And David
people also
Robinson
forget-
was
and
sitting
people also
so they could throw their season.
he did what?
He was sitting so they could throw their season.
That's not true.
I remember it. I thought that when it was happening. If it's not true, it's not true. But I'm not even saying this in retrospect.
Shame
I
on
was
you
saying
trying to
that
play
back
the
then.
animal like that. You're so disrespectful. That's incorrect.
Yeah.
And because here's why you're incorrect, Mike. People forget that they weren't even supposed to get a top 5 pick in that 97 draft. They won 40 games without David Robinson. They were literally the lowest team in the lottery. They literally had the least odds. So don't give me that throwing game stuff. They barely got in the lottery because they barely missed the playoffs because they were barely a 500 team. They were still a good team without David Robinson.
So you think they just got lucky?
So with them, championship contender as they had been.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear that whole this is their third number one pick. Cleveland's had 3 number one picks.
And you see how that worked out for them. They were able to
very
get LeBron
problematic.
back, right?
That's
These number one
organizational
picks seem
leadership,
to really,
Mike. That's organizational leadership.
Oh, getting lucky and getting the number one pick?
No. What you do with it and how you cultivate a player.
Maybe I just got lucky last night. Maybe I just got lucky and said, you know what, the Spurs are going to go.
I think my hometown team, Hawks. I mean, not Hawks. Hornets have like a legitimate potential running mate for LaMelo, the kid from Alabama, Miller.
Yeah. No, he's good.
Like I told you, 7'4" guys don't stay healthy. Like, don't be surprised. 7'5". Mike, guys over 7'3" don't stay healthy.
They're saying that he's going to stay healthy. Again, I've been watching a lot of the coverage of him, and they were talking about him being from France. They're showing that highlight of him shooting the 3, missing the 3, catching his own rebound and dunking. And when I saw all of these things and how they're talking him up, I'm like, which organization would do the best with the foreign-born player and maximize the most out of him? I'm like, San Antonio's going to get this pick. And it happened.
Well,
maybe I just got lucky. Or maybe,
well, they've done the most, but they legitimately suck this year. And Furthermore, and here's what I'm saying, and I'm not questioning him, but Mike, some of the things that he does are very Kevin Durant like on the perimeter in terms of like his dribble, his handle, and shooting sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed, Kevin Durant at like almost 7 feet tall, sometimes is an easy target to get pickpocketed because of his length and him
Oh yeah.
being out there on the perimeter. So this is the NBA, like, so it's like he's not getting swiped at and hacked at the way, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, it's still still need
Well,
to see.
well, that's where Popovich comes in, and that's where their system comes in. I think for him to be the most successful in this league, the NBA needed him in the system. And what better place to place him than San Antonio? You don't believe that, because obviously the NBA has something riding on where he goes and his success rate as well. You don't think that there's a possibility that, some things can kind of exchange and the NBA says, you know what? We want him in San Antonio. You don't think that, you think that was just
They
by
had a
chance
legitimate
that,
top three shot
that
at getting the pick, Mike. They had a legitimate top three shot at getting the pick. They were one of the three worst teams.
okay, and
One of the three
so did
worst teams.
Detroit.
Mike, in no other draft, when a team that has one of the three best chances of getting the number one pick gets the number one pick, that we call conspiracy. Like, that doesn't happen. Now, if they would have come, now, Mike, if they would have came from where they came from to get Tim Duncan and this happened again, then I'd be like, hold on.
Well, I think
But
that it was beneficial for
odds,
the league to have Shaq in Orlando too in that particular draft. I think when it comes to, do you really think it was by chance that LeBron ended up in Cleveland and Cleveland got the number one pick when they got their hometown guy? You think
Mike,
that was by
it's bad
chance,
enough.
or do you think that was by design?
Mike, it's bad enough that we ain't getting invited to no aftermath brunches, Rock Nation brunches. We're not going to be able to go to NBA games pretty soon.
It's entertainment. It's cool. Listen. I ain't. It is what it is. I ain't gonna knock the hustle.
I like to go to Hawks games and sit close, Mike.
No, man.
Very problematic.
And even if you look at the Hawks situation, like obviously Luka was probably the better prospect, but Trey's the better fit for this team in this city, and Luka was the better fit for Dallas. I mean, things seem to work out in the NBA's favor in those type of scenarios.
These thoughts expressed by Mike D are not.
Oh yeah, it's just me. It's
nor
just me.
According to HipHop Live.
Because again, there's no conventional wisdom that would show anyone in Detroit that they should have picked. I forgot his name over Carmelo. Like, there's nothing that will tell you that you should pick this guy over Melo. And yeah, it didn't happen. I think if Melo goes to Detroit, he wins right away, and I think that gives LeBron an even bigger hill to climb. But again, things work out the way they work out. Andrew Williams with the super chat says,
Thank you, Andrew.
"My Heat boys is winning." He said, "My Heat boys is winning it all this year." I'm saying this because I truly believe it, and I also like to agitate Coop. Go Heat. Do you think the Heat are going to get past Boston? Coop.
Man, I think that it's been rare that a team that's been hit with injuries like this and that talent-wise hasn't been up to snuff, I believe, for the third straight year now. Is it? Is one of the last teams standing? One of the last four teams standing for the third straight year. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
So I would like to say congrats to the Miami Heat. Mike, a wonderfully run organization with some organizational leadership.
Incredible.
The likes of Mickey Harrison and Pat Riley
Most
and Eric
definitely.
Spoelstra. Yeah, some organizational leadership. So they find themselves on the precipice again. Andrew, they're going home.
They're going home. You know what? I'm gonna make a bold statement here because you were wrong about
Mike,
both
you've been making
of
bold statements since the podcast started.
Because Coop had the Suns going on, and you also had Philly going on over Boston.
You had Milwaukee, Mike. Let's not forget.
I did. I mean, 8th seed versus 1 seed. I should have.
Nobody's trying to hear all that, Mike. You picked Milwaukee, so you're looking way worse.
But in the last series, I picked Miami. I picked them over New York.
And you said Jokic wasn't a primetime player before these playoffs.
I did say that before these playoffs, and after the first round, I said, you know what? I'm wrong. He's playing. I mean, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Mike. He's the best player in basketball.
He is. He played great last night. And even with him playing great last night, the Lakers still had an opportunity to win that game on the road when they kind of just checked out the first half. I think that LA is going to win that series, and I'm going to make a bold statement to pick Miami in this series because I trust I trust my guy Jimmy over anybody in Boston, and I think that Tatum is an incredible player. He's one of those guys that's so streaky that he can hit you with 50 or he can hit you with 15. You don't know. I think the consistency of Jimmy
Butler
Butler
doesn't do the same thing.
in game time moments, I trust Jimmy Butler over anybody in Boston. If they can keep these games close, I trust Jimmy Butler to close them out. I truly do. We'll see a lot tonight. Tonight's game is in Boston or is it in Miami?
Damn sure ain't in Miami. Man.
Okay. If it's in Boston and Miami wins or gets within 5 or so, they're definitely gonna win this series.
I mean, if it was in Miami, Mike, there'd only be 11 people there right now for tip-off, and then everybody finally be there by like halftime.
Oh
but
yeah.
Anyway,
I've been to many Miami games, man. I was down there a lot when Bron was playing in Miami, and those games was lit, man. Forget all that stuff you hear on TV about the first half. Yeah, they show up late. There's a lot to do in Miami, but they got great fans.
Mike, I'll tell you what. I like your consistency as always. You've been consistently wrong since we've started this show, and you're proving to be consistently wrong again. Miami and LA ain't going anywhere. Because here's what I'll tell you.
No, I've been right since I've been watching.
Miami and LA aren't going anywhere, Mike.
Okay. So you got Denver and Boston in the finals.
Mike, I'm going to tell you what's happening. There's actually some torch passing going on. It's like I realized the other night when I was watching Jokic play, this is the first time LeBron's been on the court with somebody who's an equal passer to him. Like, whose passing genius is at his level.
Jokic just playing some brilliant basketball. And
I
love
not
it.
Just like he's doing what legends do in the playoffs. He's taking his regular season numbers, which were literally worthy of winning a third straight MVP. And Mike, he's up the ante on them in like a Shaquille O'Neal, Akeem Olajuwon type of way for a big man.
He looking like Will out here, man. Regular season Will.
And I realized when I was watching the game yesterday, it's like Jokic is the best player in the basketball. Giannis is second. Embiid is third.
Rewind. Giannis is second based on what?
I mean, Giannis was hurt too, Mike. That is part of the reason why Miami won the series is his back.
Oh.
No, don't.
That's probably why he missed 13 free throws, too.
I mean, no. Still very problematic, Mike. I told you, he's not the best because he can't shoot. If he could shoot, he'd be the best. But he can't shoot, so he'll never be number one on my list until he can shoot. But after those three guys, and understand that the reason that these series went the way that they went is because number 2 and number 3 got hurt, Mike. So their games weren't the same after they got hurt. But Jokic is healthy, Mike. And right now, at the stages that they are in their career, Jokic right now is a better player than LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Don't nobody want it with that dude right now. It's just the fact of the matter. And the reality of the matter is if somebody want to beat Denver, they're going to have to cancel him out, which AD didn't do last night. I want you to understand, he almost out-rebounded LeBron and AD combined. As in, they got 22 rebounds, he got 21.
Yeah,
that ain't going to work. Yeah. That ain't going to work.
Yeah. Andrew Green with the super chat.
Shouldn't be encouraged by shit. He scored 2 points in the fourth quarter. If he has a regular fourth quarter, y'all get ran out the gym.
Do you think he scored 2 points in the fourth quarter because he ran out of gas because he exerted so much in the first half and third?
I don't know, Mike. I know I ain't never seen no fucking 34, 21, 14 stat line like in a legitimate NBA playoff games with legitimate not legitimate top 5 players like on the court, like in terms of the era. Like, no, there was a top 5 all-time player on the other side of the court.
Yeah, in his 20th season now.
Doing that against maybe Embiid and Anthony Davis are probably the best interior defenders in the league, Mike. He was ragdolling the best interior defender in the league.
Yeah, but Anthony also had 40. So I mean,
and it didn't matter.
It was
Mike.
a great performance.
That's what I'm saying. LA not winning the series. Anthony Davis got 40 points and 10 rebounds. LeBron James got 26, 14 and 9. They lost.
So you think that Jokic is going to be able to do this all the games, like every single game?
When have you seen LeBron and AD do that? consistently for
Do you think that Jokic is going to do this every game?
Jokic been doing this. This is round 3 of Jokic doing this, Mike. And each round, he ups the ante.
Okay.
I'm not picking against him.
Let me get to the super chats real quick.
After I watched the first quarter, I was like, nah, that's the dude that you don't fuck with right now.
Andrew Green, the super chat says, "Peace Kings. I might have missed it, but could y'all talk about the song that Hit Boy did with his pops? I think it was really a dope moment. I gotta listen to that. I haven't checked it out yet. I seen his pops out there at the studio, but I didn't hear the actual song. Did you hear the song, Coop?
I did. We'll talk about it on Friday when you've had time to.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Jadarion with the super chat says, that new Heem album was good, but repetitive. There's some joints on there, but ultimately unimpressive. Let's see. Clayton is asleep back in the building. He said, peace, Mike and Coop. Rare I get to catch even a bit of the show live. Hope y'all are enjoying this beautiful day discussing our mutual passion. Sky Zoo still got the top spot. Peace and blessings to y'all. Mad Max says, Joker almost choked yesterday. Celtics gonna win it all. They sacrifice Bill and the Sham. I'm a dirty Celtic and they tricks. A sham. Dirty Celtics and they tricks. We're gonna go that far with the conspiracy theories here. Mad Max also says, Joker a better passer than LeBron ever was.
I didn't say that. It's very problematic that you say that. You need to watch your tone.
CJ Kid with the super chat says, it was written beats Supreme Clientele track for track, Coop. I believe you had Supreme Clientele from 10 to number 15 on the all-time hip-hop albums list. Think you had it at 12. Does this bump It Was Written up to the top 12 hip-hop albums?
First of all, I think I had Supreme more like 14, 15-ish after Liquid Swords.
Mm-hmm.
On my list, so I don't think it was 12. I mean, Mike, how many classics have literally gotten more classic as they've aged? Whereas, like, you go back and listen to it, and it's like, oh shit, we missed that.
It's a few, not many. I think usually those are the ones that are a lot more lyrically intricate and conceptually intricate, because the production sometimes fades. Production doesn't always seem to get better. It either hits at that moment and it stays hitting, or it hits and it doesn't age as well. But lyricism grows, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't think we've had a classic. Like, because here's the thing about it. When it came out, nobody was saying that it was a classic. But it's clearly a classic now. That's what I'm saying. Like, what other rap album is like that, where it's like everybody, when it came out, was like, nah, it's just good. But now you go back and listen to it, and it's like, man, this shit is mind-blowing.
I think what's interesting, though, is usually when a dope classic album comes out in the moment, it gets critical acclaim, and it gets all of the media outlets and journalists on one page to say the same thing. For whatever reason, and we've discussed this on this show in length, Nas doesn't get that. And I think this was the beginning of them trying to discredit where he was going, and they were using his first album to do it. And time was kind to It Was Written, because It Was Written is better than what they once said it was, you know?
So, Mike, you've often said this yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Let me ask you something. I got a couple questions for you. You've often said 96 Nas is the best MC you've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you said that. You said one MC 1 year, that guy in 96.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That's It Was Written year, not an Illmatic year, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You have also said, and I've kind of piggybacked it, and this is where the timeless themes came from. People who don't know this know, or people who watch us know, that me saying that it's also about the timeless themes came from the perspective of you always saying, well, Illmatic's only better than It Was Written because the production's better. It's Like, because you're like lyrically and hook wise, the guy in '96 is better than the guy in '94. You're like the production on Illmatic is better. I'm like, yeah, Mike, and the themes are more
I
timeless.
think the production's better and the songs are overall better. You know what I mean? Like the way
But
that they
I see
connect.
when you
Yeah.
see when you're saying the songs are better. I don't know if they're better. They're just more timeless.
Yeah. I mean, I think the world is yours. The world is yours is just a incredibly put together record. Same thing with Memory Lane. Same thing
Yeah.
with It Ain't Hard to Tell. Same thing with Represent. Like these are well put together songs. One Love.
No.
But the
Yeah.
themes
No.
are a big part of that though.
Yeah. I'm about to say the concept is a big part of like the cohesion comes from the cinematic timeless themes.
Mm-hmm.
But I say this to say that, well, if Illmatic is like easily a top 5 album, let's not even say it's the greatest hip hop album of all time. Let's just say it's a top 5 rap album ever, okay?
Right.
How far off is It Was Written?
It's
Because I
true.
never thought it was far off, Mike.
Yeah.
So let's say objectively you have a list and it's like, let's say you got a guy, Mike, that's about 5 years older than us. So his top 5 albums, it might go It Takes a Nation, Paid in Full, then Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? So let's say Illmatic's number 3 on that guy's list. You know what I'm saying? How far away is It Was Written? Because I don't think it's like 20 spaces away. It's not that.
I think the thing with It Was Written, and we start, factoring in other classic albums, I think that the writing on It Was Written is brilliant. And if we're going to talk about the most lyrical hip hop albums ever, and especially if we want to talk about an individual performance, It Was Written is high up there. But I think that when we talk about the power of individual songs, I don't know if it matches up against the greatest albums ever. You know what I mean? Once we start talking
See, but that's
you know what I'm saying? Like
No,
as
I
far
know
as the
what you're
strength
saying.
of the
And
records.
like I used to feel that way too, but that's what I mean about the legend being different now. We're looking at it through our eyes, Mike, for our age because of how the media controlled our
You're right.
narrative and slandered us. There's a generation after us, Mike, that's heads that's like, no, that shit's like the holy grail, Mike. They're like, y'all talking about Illmatic. They're like, no, that's the joint. And
Yeah.
they have a different perspective on it because the media wasn't involved in their perspective because he was quote unquote past his peak by then. So the
And you're
media
right.
didn't feel the need to.
Because many of the notions that I've perceived from It Was Written all these years are definitely media driven. Like I can't act like that doesn't have any level of impact on how I view It Was Written. Even though I love the album, but the fact
how
that
about
it's
this?
missing the fanfare that a lot of other classic albums got, that's in the psyche. You know what I mean?
I had a dude that I was talking to, Mike. It was like late last year. And he was like, yo, he's like, I seen Coop that y'all was talking about the new Nas album. He was like, yo, he was like, this dude from the Midwest. He's from Ohio. He was like, my shit was Street Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a street dude. And I was like, Street Dreams was his shit. He's like, dude, he's like, Coop. He's like, listen to what the nigga's saying.
Exactly.
He's like, street dreams are made of these. Niggas push Beamers and 300 E's. The drug dealer's destiny is reaching a key. Everybody's looking for some. He's like, no, he really had dudes in the street saying that. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, I'm not thinking about it like on that level. So it's like that's his hit record, Mike, but it like resonated with street dudes. There's a whole generation of women that love Lauryn Hill, and If I Rule the World is part of the reason why. So they're acquainted and familiar with him on a whole nother way that because of these records, it's on It Was Written, Mike.
I think the narrative of him being a quote unquote bad beat picker starts with It Was Written too.
But it's wrong, Mike. I'm gonna tell you.
It is wrong. No, I agree. It's wrong.
When the setup and I Gave You Power come on, Mike, it's like, no, them beats ain't bad, Mike. When that beat to the setup drop, when Live Nigga Rap drop, Mike, when them Havoc beat drops, you gonna tell me them Havoc beats is
Honestly,
bad?
I don't think there's a real bad beat on the album. If there's a
Black Girl
subpar
Lost
beat,
is a little suspect, Mike.
huh? What's that? Black Girl Lost. I was just about to say, if there is one, it would be Black Girl Lost. But other than that, I mean, the other one is the Dr. Dre one. Actually, I don't really like that beat. Nas Is Coming, very underwhelming. I think Nas Is Coming and Black Girl Lost. What What's the other one? Watch Them Niggas. That beat could be
So
better.
hold on, Mike. Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. Watch Them, that beat ain't that bad.
You like that beat?
How about this? You know what? Here's how I feel about Watch Them. I think Watch Them is a song sequencing issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say those are probably the weaker beats on there, but overall, for people to say he's a bad beat picker off of that, I think
the
it's
album
false.
starts off with the message "Street Dreams." I gave you power.
What do you think about the Street Dreams beat? What do you think about the Street Dreams beat?
I'm with you on the remix probably being the preferable version.
I like Street Dreams though. Yeah.
But I'm cool with that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, Mike, that's a great album starter. The message "Street Dreams." And then into I Gave You Power. It's like, no, that's pretty epic, Mike. I mean, you could argue two of his 10 best songs start off It Was Written. That's what I'm saying. It's like the message and I Gave You Power are tracks 2 and 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't love the intro as much to It Was Written. If I tell you my biggest problem with It Was Written is probably the intro.
The
intro doesn't feel as authentic.
Yeah, very theatrical, very Kendrick Lamar-esque.
Too cinematic, like almost too cinematic. Yeah. It's like, no, like you don't need to make the intro cinematic. Your bars are cinematic.
Yeah.
See the setup in shootouts, Mike. And that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like, go listen to the setup in shootouts now, Mike. Niggas don't make stories like that anymore, even.
I mean, when you look at his story rap sheet, like song for song, no one's even close.
It's absurd. It's absurd.
Crazy.
But Mike, it really starts with the setup and shootouts.
It does.
And the message.
You're right.
Those are the actual first, like, stories. It's like everything else is a piece of a story.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It Was Written is when the storytelling starts.
You're right.
If he's rap's best storyteller, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, no, go listen to the setup and shootouts. That's where Niggas Bleed comes from. That's where all these other little cinematic rap stories come from. He was the first one that flipped that shit like that. It's not
like Biggie wasn't the storyteller that he was on Life After Death on Ready to Die. He just wasn't.
No, Mike. I keep trying to tell everybody, Niggas Bleed is the response to the setup. If you even listen to how it ends, he's like you can hear like Big's competitive. He's listening to the end of the setup. He's like, I got to come up with something more clever than that ending. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the whole double park by a hydrant shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the setup and look at Niggas Bleed, both of them in a hotel.
Is the double park by a hydrant, is that a reference to the Son of Sam? Never really thought about that, but that's how he got caught.
Could be.
Yeah.
But also too, Mike, but what I'm saying is he took it a step further. You see, like, Nas ends the setup inside the hotel. Then punk niggas got murdered in the orgy. Yeah. Big takes it outside. Like, he takes it one step further. It's like, no. I'm going to go a step further than that. It's not going to go down in the hotel room. It's going to happen inside the hotel room, but I'm going to make the real kicker what happens outside the hotel room. It's like literally taking it a step further.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. Deontay Smith for the super chat says, he said, Rue and AD was a defensive problem for Joker in the second half. If that game would have been a few minutes longer, the Lakers would have won. We're going to see in game 2.
If was a fifth.
Jay Show with the super chat says, Coop, R&B question. Love Deluxe by Sade or Baduizm?
Ooh, both albums start off in epic fashion. You know, the first time I ever freestyle was the Baduizm, Mike.
Oh, word?
Yeah, it's the first time I ever rhyme was really over Baduizm beats. It's this dude, James Chu. He used to rap like Andre. We were in English class together at West Charlotte. We were in 10th grade. I'll tell you that Baduizm is more impactful. But I also think that the Sade Love Deluxe holds up better. Just slightly, though. Like records like Couldn't Love You More, Cherish the Day, Like a Tattoo. You don't quite know when she made those records if you don't know the album. You know what I mean? It's like you could go play those records and it's like, when did she make that? You can kind of tell when Baduizm got made. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Mad Max with the super chat says, It Was Written gets that love because of my generation. That and Tupac's Illuminati are held high in my generation and are two of my favorite albums ever. Well, shout out to Mad Max's generation. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, "It Was Written is definitely a classic. The media didn't want to admit that. Watch Them Niggas is my favorite. I be riding out to that all the time. Nas is the GOAT." CJ Kidd with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, "I think it would be cool to run It Was Written through your album list and see if it will move up. And you guys are doing well with the MCs. Beyond track 4, track you gotta list some of the qualifications like the MCs list." Because he's saying we gotta list some of the qualifications for best hip hop album. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, "It Was Written needs to be higher on the list." It Was Written has grown in legacy, and I think that's attributed to the work that Nas has continued to do over his career too.
Well, this was what I was about to say. Is It Was Written the best mic performance ever is really what the question is. Right?
I'm cool with that. I think it can be. I think it's that Life After Death can get in that conversation.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I actually think those two are the conversations about the volume. Like Big had more help, but Big had more songs.
I'll throw Paid in Full in there too for a lot of reasons, but
I don't think it's enough song wise though, Mike.
Yeah, I think what Rakim did,
Let the Rhythm
as far
Hit Him
as
is
setting,
more of a contender.
Yeah, but as far as what he did of setting a tone on that album, but I feel you on Let the Rhythm Hit Him. It's like everything that he did and set a high standard for, Nas kind of was able to take to the next level on It Was Written. He gave you the storytelling ability of Slick. He gave you the concepts of, somebody like a De La. He gave you the lyricism of a Rakim. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot.
I mean, it's pretty special, Mike.
It is.
Like, when you go back and really look at it, and it's like, because here's what I'll tell you. Forget the whole bad beat picker thing. People be acting like his hook game's not fire. That's why when my dude was spitting the Street Dreams hook to me, I'm thinking like, damn, he was spitting that hook in 96.
Mm-hmm.
Might go to the next song. How You Like Me Now? I go, blow, it's the shit that moves crowds, making every ghetto file.
Mm-hmm.
I might have took your first child. Scarred your life, crippled your style. I gave you power. I made you buck wild. Mike, that's a fucking brilliant hook.
It is. It is.
Mike, the next song, Watch Them Niggas That's Close to You. And make sure they do what they supposed to do. Because them the ones that end up smoking you. Never personal. Nowadays.
It's the way.
It's the ways.
Yeah.
Mike, go to the setup. Spark the lie. QBC, always do or die. In this business, a trifeness, we finesse this. For RD, we chef shit, perfect shit. Our Einstein, minds connect with. Dangerous sons. Setback, watch the tech lift you up, bless you with the shorty, then we set you up. Mike, these hooks are phenomenal.
They are.
Mike, shootouts are similar to Wild West. Broad daylight, face to face without a vest. You know the episodes, thugs, camouflage, and spectacles. Peace, God, just save the lives that was never sold. See, it was written but was never told. Mike, these hooks are phenomenal. This is 96. And so when people are like, he don't really be having hooks, it's like, did you hear it was written?
I mean, the title of the album itself, it's a writer's album,
They ain't even the bars, Mike. They ain't even the... Yeah. Like, let's not get into the bar work, Mike. The bar work is really the best bar work ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah.
T Nitty with the super chat says, "How do you rate 93 to Infinity?"
How can? But this is what I'm saying, and I feel the same way kind of about Life After Death, and kind of you could say that about Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. It's like if those are like the best mic performances ever, it's like where is the album really? Because I'm gonna tell you what, when I actually think about Rakim, the Rakim that I know, it's the dude on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. Like if you're, because what I know him for is lyrics.
Yeah.
And it's like Paid in Full is like hitmaker Rakim actually. Like Follow the Leader is him becoming that lyrical master. But oh no, Mike, he a master on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em.
Yeah.
Like every bar is flawless, Mike.
The song Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em itself, No Omega, ghetto. Like, yeah, he's somewhere else in that.
He's somewhere else, Mike. He better than everybody ever been. Like lyrically, at that point, he was better than anybody had ever been before.
I want to go
Lyrically.
back and listen to 93 Till Infinity. I haven't listened to the album in a while because the song itself, casts such a shadow over, hip hop in general. I haven't listened to the album in a while to really give a real answer of where that album ranks. But, when we think about great hip hop albums, and since we're having an album conversation today, you think of multiple records that change the trajectory, either multiple records or multiple performances on that album. And like I said, the song 93 Till Infinity is just so much bigger than everything else on the album. It's like, okay, it's hard. I got to go back and listen to it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to even put that up against some of Farside's efforts because Farside's had multiple standout records on one individual album.
What's which one of the Pete Rock albums has Troy? Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Main Ingredient?
Nah, that's on Mecca and the Soul Brother.
Mecca and Soul Brother?
Yeah.
Like Mike, that album, that beat, and the beats on there are dope, Mike.
Yeah,
and the songs are great, but that song is so much better than everything else on the album that it hurts your ability to listen to the album in full with clear conscience.
I mean, maybe that's why I listen to Main Ingredient more of it as an album, and I think Main
It's
Ingredient's
more
a
of a consistent
better
album.
album.
I think it's a better album because of that, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about this? It's like part of the reason why Billie Jean works, Mike, is because Thriller and Beat It and PYT. It's like, nah,
Human
ain't
Nature. Yeah, all that.
Right.
Yeah. But that's what makes a legendary album. When you hit a level like that, and then you got all the other tracks to match it.
Right. Well, how about this? You have variations of the level, is what you really have.
Exactly. Yeah. Matching that level. CJ Kidd with the super chat says the boxes, the albums list can be judging by impact, lyrics, production, sequencing, versatility, and how the songs translate live. Only got 6 so far. I think that's plausible. You know what? Let me take a screenshot of this so we can come back to that. But no, I think that's plausible. Let's see. CJ Kidd also says, like, it was written beat Liquid Swords since that was a spot ahead of Supreme Clientele, if you remember correctly. Do you put it was written over Liquid Swords? I know you're heavy on Liquid Swords.
That's one of the best Mike performances ever, too, Mike. It's just
production's better.
But also too, much like Big on Life After Death, a lot of help. But still lyrically there.
We're just judging the album for album. I mean, obviously, Mike performances.
Here's what I tell you: Liquid Swords is one of the few albums that is lyrically comparable to It Was Written. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, I gave you power. It's like, no, but he's got labels over there. It's like, oh, well, you got the setup and shootouts. It's like, no, you got Killer Hills 10304 and Cold World over there. So it's like, you can fight with it. That's what I mean. How about this? You would have told me when they first came out, it's like I would tell you easy that Liquid Swords was better, even as somebody that was a Nas fan. But the way it was written has grown over time, Mike. It's arguable. It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
But how about this? If it's a toss-up, I've always felt like Liquid Swords was a top 15 album. So if I feel like it's a toss-up, I guess I'm saying the same about It Was Written. And that's what I'm saying. How much far away off Illmatic can it be? If Illmatic's an easy top 5 album, how about look at it like this, Mike? How far away is 2001 from The Chronic?
I don't think that far. But again, the time span is so different, and it means so many different things to different generations. Both albums do. It makes it very tough to judge, It's almost like you got to ask somebody who wasn't there for either.
That's fair. No, I get what you're saying. So it's like, but I was just saying, like, objectively, it's like, well, no, if Illmatic is 3, I could see It Was Written being 13. I wouldn't be surprised by that. That's very much plausible. And that's about where I have Liquid Swords at. That's why Mike, I'd like to see that.
In reality, though.
Like, think about it. It's The Message versus Liquid Swords.
Yeah.
A Duel of the Iron Mike versus Street Dreams. I Gave You Power, Living in the World Today. Gold, Watch Them Niggas, Cold World,
Yeah.
Take It in Blood, Labels, Nas Is Coming, Fourth Chamber, Affirmative Action. Ooh, Fourth Chamber and Affirmative Action. Mike, you
That's
see what
fourth
I'm
chamber.
saying?
Yeah. But yeah, that's fourth chamber.
Shadow Boxing in the Setup.
That's shadow boxing. But again, these are heavy
Black, see,
records.
look, but that's what I'm saying, Mike. Black Girl Lost, Killer Hills 10304.
I
Like, that's
think
Killer
that
Hills.
It Was Written has more misses on it than Liquid Sword does.
Investigative reports and suspect, that would be investigative reports. You see how many Liquid Swords? That's what I mean. It's like, no, it's arguable.
It's Nas's mic performance that makes it arguable, I believe.
Because it's the best mic performance ever, arguably.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, "What up, A2HH? You guys know I'm from the West, so when It Was Written came out, people was expecting it, to be better than All Eyes on Me. So when it wasn't, Nas heads was mad. Damn, were people expecting it to be better than All Eyes on Me? I guess so. Mad Max with the super chat says, best mic performance is Paid in Full. Y'all bugging. Now I love Nas, but songs like Ain't No Joke, every bar was crazy. I'm with Mad Max on that, man. I love the mic performance on Paid in Full because, again, it comes out of nowhere. We heard nothing like that before. End to end. Paid in Full to me sounds like
Y'all were talking
Rakim is
about
daring.
impressive.
Yeah, definitely. And that's my lane. I love that aggressive type of rap. I think Rakim is daring anybody to battle him throughout the whole Paid in Full album. Maybe with the exception of the song Paid in Full. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about how vicious he is on the mic. Take 7 MCs. Like, look, let's do this.
He doesn't have enough bar work on the album to compete with It Was Written, though.
It's not enough songs, you're saying.
It's not enough songs. It's not that it's not there. It's the same thing with Liquid Swords. When I say Liquid Swords is one of the best mic performances ever, well, it's not better than they would. There's not enough bars from the Jizza. It's not enough bars from the Clan. Think about this, Mike. That's Wu-Tang Clan in their prime, and it's not enough bars from them to beat It Was Written.
TJ,
it's like that. Hold on, Mike. When did Rakim ever have to deal with a Wu-Tang Clan and live? You know, think about this, Mike. You said this yourself. The Purple Tape might be the most lyrical rap album of all time. Mike, remind me who got the best verse on the most lyrical rap album of all time.
Nas has the best verse on that album. Is what it is.
So yeah, that guy. Like, Rakim never dealt with that.
That's true. That's fair.
But Nas dealt with, like, Kane-like figures, Jay-Z, KRS-One type figures, Black Thoughts right there. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, no, he dealt with everything Rakim dealt with, but Mike, Wu-Tang Clan.
Right. That's a whole different beast. TJ with the super chat says, Nas' second verse on Nas Is Coming is filthy. Can you touch on that real quick?
In the black limo, Jack Daniel through the crack window. I spot the fake red dot his face like a Hindu. Yeah, I remember that.
Peter Parks with the super chat says.
I mean, Mike, that's what I'm saying. Every verse on It Was Written is fire.
I mean, he doesn't take any time off.
You want to know what the problem is, Mike? Like, and this is where Big kind of did up the ante some. Big's mic performance on Life After Death, much like Rakim's mic performance on Paid in Full, and this is probably why you and Mad Max feel that way, the lines are more memorable.
Yeah.
That don't make them better.
That's a part of great writing,
but
too.
But it does matter. No, it matters.
That matters.
Think about this. More money, more problems. It's like, well, BIG, PO, PPA, no info for the DEA. But here's the thing about it. Like, you think that's fly? I think that's fly. But when Nas spits like that, we say that it's not fly.
Who says that? Peter Parks in the super chat says, question, are you guys going to be checking out the, ST Knack, executive produced by Westside Gunn? Of course. Got to check that out. Speaking of albums, Jay Short with the super chat says, I think Into the Stage is underrated as well. If 36 Chambers doesn't come out 3 months later, Black Moon is in the Mobb Deep conversation.
I think Black Moon just didn't keep really going.
Yeah.
Was the thing.
Into the Stage is held high. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think Into the Stage is like held very, very high and regarded and should be. I just don't think they just didn't keep going.
Yeah, in a very competitive time period. I think that if they would have
It
kept
might be
going,
rap's most competitive time, like that
yeah,
93, 94, 95, 96 time, that 93 to 96. Like the competitiveness is like,
and they got a good jump too. Like they were right there in '93. So yeah, they didn't just
yeah, they
keep
was ahead
going.
of dudes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Andrew Williams with the super chat says Nas has the best two mic performances ever, which is It Was Written in Illmatic. And It Was Written is the greatest mic performance ever, in my opinion. He's cemented as number one. Yeah, he got that. Let's see,
Oh,
Matthew.
ST Nack. Oh, ST Nack. Yeah, ST
Yeah.
Nack's dope, Mike. Have you heard ST Nack?
I haven't heard of ST Nat.
Yeah, he's nice.
Okay, well, we're going to get into that. Is that Friday?
I'll check and see.
Matthew with the super chat says, I think Capital Punishment is the best mic performance. Can't fade pun on that one, kid. Peace to y'all. What do you think about that? Because I've heard a lot of people saying that. I mean, Big Pun is held high as a lyricist, and I think obviously it's because of Capital Punishment.
Right. I mean, there's Dream Shatterer, of course. They're super lyrical. Of course, there's the Twins with the dead in the middle of dead. Yeah, I mean, so I'm not knocking it. I don't know. How about this? Because Capital Punishment has notarized classic wise, I think it's hard for that mic perform. Because part of the reason why we can literally say it's the best mic performance now and It Was Written now and weren't saying it then, even though we kind of knew it. Classic nature. And so I don't know if Capital Punishment is that level of classic that we can put it in the all-time conversation. Think about the albums that you're throwing Capital Punishment into and ask yourself if that's fair for Capital Punishment to be going up against stuff like Liquid Swords and It Was Written and Paid in Full. I don't think that's fair to Capital Punishment. I don't think it's fair to Pun.
Yeah. CJ Kid with the super chat says, someone said add creativity. So 7 boxes. Yeah, creativity definitely has to be in there. Shout out to De La Soul.
Are you writing that down, Mike? Do I need to write that down?
Yeah, if you could, I screenshot what he said earlier. T Nitty with the super chat says, It was written. It's better than All Eyes on Me.
It is, but only about the second disc, though. I told you that first disc is a top 10 rap album.
That's interesting. Jay Short with the super chat says, I agree with Matthew. It Was Written as number one, but I think that Pun came out of nowhere on Capital Punishment and overshadowed all of his guests. He killed every beat. He did. Pun got that flow too. What would y'all say is Pun's best verse though? If we're gonna go.
On Dream Shatterer. The first verse on Dream Shatterer.
Okay. You know what?
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing about it. First of all, Pun didn't come out of nowhere. First of all, when Capital Punishment come out, 98.
Yeah, that was 98. I heard a Pun.
Remember Pun on the Funk Fest freestyling over the ice cream beat, Mark?
Yeah.
Stop playing with me. That was like 2 or 3 years before the album even dropped.
Yeah, I was ready for Pun when he dropped.
Yeah, I was ready for Pun. I've been waiting for Pun. Like, y'all tripping. Y'all wasn't outside. You wasn't shooting in the gym.
Speaking of outside, man, I put together an Atlanta list for people that were outside. I'm going to get to that in a second. People had some things to say. And, I don't discount the opinion of out-of-towners, but I just wanted to kind of, speak to it. Chris with the super chat, Chris Daugherty with the super chat says, Coop, I'm 49, true perspective. I wasn't influenced by media like Leroy Green. Nas was great to me back then. That's why he wins. These verses now because there's no more media bias. Facts. Said that's why Nas is winning these verses now because there's no more media bias. Yeah, we've cut down that wall between the media and the fans.
Here's what happened. The people, Mike, think about this. The people who were doing this aren't as good and therefore not as notarized anymore at their craft as he is for his. He's outlasted his haters.
Well, the people that were doing these things, and this is, these people don't have an individual platform, right? And I say this respectfully. If you remove the the places these people work for, from them, they don't have a following. You know what I'm saying? And they're just regurgitating whatever the people they work for that they work for want them to, because that's where their following comes from. If some of these
So
people who you know from certain platforms jumped off of that platform and did their own YouTube channel or whatever, they wouldn't have people following them. I mean, we seen it with the Rosenberg thing when it was talking about Magic. Like, these people are on the biggest stations, have the biggest transmitters in the world, but when they jump on an independent platform and are removed from them studios, people aren't following what they're saying.
that reminds me, click like and subscribe to our page. Follow the tribe.
Yeah,
Click
definitely.
subscribe.
T Nitty with the super chat says 96 Buckshot was in the top 3 out of New York convo. Well, since we're gonna have a New York convo, and I reached out to Rap Roundtable, I want them to do something similar because I don't think that I'm qualified to do a New York list like this. I did a Song of the Year in Atlanta from 1992 list to 2022. And before people come down on me or whatever, this is based on the city of Atlanta and what the city of Atlanta was playing, and not the stuff that maybe somebody from Atlanta made that crossed over nationwide. I guess I'll get into that once I get through the list. But here's the actual list. Hip Hop Song of the Year for the city of Atlanta from 1992 to 2022. 1992, Crisscross Jump, had to do that. 93, Whoop There It Is, Tag Team. 94, Players Ball, Outkast. 95, Cell Therapy, Goody Mob. 96, What's Up, Player Poncho and LA Snow.
Let's pause. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Say 1996, Player Poncho, What's Up?
Yep. Bankhead Bounce is huge.
Hey, Mike.
Elevators is an honorable mention.
It's very problematic how you're behaving. Keep going.
It is? I mean, the Bankhead Bounce is huge. Hold on one second.
It's not bigger than elevators, Mike.
Hold on one second, yo.
There were gangbangers on the West Coast saying
Hey, I'm
me
doing
and
the
you,
show,
your
man.
mama and your cousin too.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll let her know. All right. Bye. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah. Anyway, 1996. What's up? Player Poncho, LA Snow. 97, Baby, Kilo Ali. 98, Raheem the Dream, Most Beautiful Girl in the World, featuring the Dream. I didn't know the Dream was singing that hook until recently. 99, No More Playing GA, Pastor Troy. 2000, Eastside versus Westside, Baby D. 2001, Vice Versa, Pastor Troy. 2002, Get Low, Lil Jon and Eastside Boys featuring the Yin Yang Twins. 03, Never Scared, Bone Crusher featuring Killer Mike and T.I. 04, Nuck If You Buck, Crime Mob. 05, I'm the Man, D4L, Shawty Lo's solo song. 06, What You Know, T.I. 07, I'ma Do Me, Rocco. 08, Make the Trap Say A, OJ the Juice Man featuring Gucci Mane. 09, Swag Surfing, Fast Life Youngsters. 2010, No Hands, Waka Flocka featuring Wale and Roscoe Dash. 2011, Racks on Racks, YC featuring Future. 2012, Bando, Migos. 2013, Type of Way, Rich Homie Quan. 2014, Lifestyle, Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. 2015, March Madness, Future. 2016, Bad and Bougie, Migos. 2017, Mask Off, Future. 2018, Yes Indeed, Lil Baby featuring Drake. 2019, Hot, Young Thug featuring Gunna. 2020, Life is Good, Future featuring Drake. 2021, Ski, Young Thug and Gunna. And 2022, Pushin' P, Gunna featuring Young Thug and Future. Now here goes some of the honorable mentions. Jeezy, Trap or Die featuring Bun B. D-Rock, Bankhead Bounce, Ghetto Mafia Straight from the Deck, Outkast, Elevators, Goody Mob featuring Cool Breeze and Big Boy, Dirty South, Young Bloods, Damn, Lil Jon and Eastside Boys featuring Ludacris and China White, B.I.B.L. remix, Kilo Ali featuring Big Boy, Love in Your Mouth, KP and Envy, Shawty Swing My Way, Lil Scrappy, No Problems, Yin Yang Twin, Salt Shaker, DJ Taz featuring Raheem the Dream, that's right. Lil Jon, the Eastside Boys featuring Jazzy Face, Shawty Freak a Little Something. T.I. 24's Young Bloods featuring Big Boy and Cuddy Cartel. That is, tag, I didn't even put the song title there, but that's 85. Young Jock, It's Going Down, Kilo Ali, America's Got a Problem, 2 Chainz, Spend It, Witch Doctor, Holiday, Backbone, 5 Deuce 4 Trade, and Franchise Boys, White Tee, Gucci Mane, and Takeoff, I Get the Bag. Roscoe, All the Way Turned Up, Maceo, Next Tail Chirp, and Franchise Boys, Lean With It, Rock With It, Intoxicated, Baby D, Walking Like I Wanna Walk It, and Kryptonite. Those are the honorable mentions on all of that. I covered a lot of bases. Yeah.
Mike, I just want to let you know you're fired.
Why? You want me to go straight lyrical miracle in the city?
No. Mike, what year did 85 come out?
85 was 99.
What do you have for 99?
No More Playing GA. That was past Detroit time.
Mike, it's not over 85. No.
No, No More Playing GA was bigger, man. It was.
When it hit the flow, hold on. When did Hit the Flow by Dirty come out?
They from Montgomery. They are. They from Montgomery. I was in Montgomery when that came out. That was in 2000. They from Montgomery. They're not from Atlanta.
Mike, when Kryptonite come out?
Kryptonite was, I think that might have been 06. Let's see.
Is that what you know?
Yeah.
Mike, when did Shorty Swing My Way come out?
I feel like that might have been 98.
What you have for 98?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure first. Yeah, that was 98. Raheem the Dream, Most Beautiful Girl in the World.
That's not bigger than Shorty Swing My Way.
Think so? Okay.
Don't nobody think that, Mike. Not even in Atlanta. Don't nobody think
so?
that. No.
I don't know, man. I mean, both of them was getting
Like, when
crazy.
did My Boo
play.
by Quad City DJs come out? You didn't even put My Boo on the honorable mention list. Where's
That's
My Boo
not
by
a,
Quad City?
hold on. My Boo's not a rap song. Why do people keep saying that? Ain't no rapping on there.
That's also Death
There
Face
ain't no
All Stars,
rapping
Mike.
on there. That is not a rap song. It's not. Give me the rap verse on there.
Give me.
Yeah. That's not. Why do people keep saying
The
that?
hook is a rap song.
That's not a rap at all. It's not a rap song.
Give me My Boo. So Death All Stars.
That's not a rap song.
Mike, and is he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and making all these hip hop lists? And put My Boo by So.
No, Missy raps at least. Don't disrespect Missy like that. There's not a rap verse on that song.
Give me My Boo over whatever year. I think that's 96.
We
Mike.
can't.
That was
No.
summer of 96.
So
Summer
now
of
we
96.
just gonna
Scratch
put.
whatever's on
So
the
now
list.
we just gonna put
Elevators
TLC.
on.
So now we just gonna put TLC Creep in there for 94. No,
Where
it's
Jeezy?
rap.
Hold on, where Jeezy didn't hit?
Jeezy got Trap or Die on the honorable mentions. I'm gonna address that because that's one of the things people had issue with. Hold on 1 second. Leroy Green with the super chat says, I don't think that this understands why Bad Boy is so successful. I guess he means I don't think they understand why Bad Boy is so successful. Shortly after it was written, so when folks act like beats don't matter, they don't know why it was written missed. It was written as right between All Eyes on Me and Life After Death, too. Hold on, let's see. I think we got some more super chats. Leroy Green said, to the person that said my name, the fact folks have been able to form their own opinions, shut down the media argument. Nobody cared what MTV said. CJ Kidd with the $20 super chat says, Coop, on your list, you had Supreme Clientele at number 13, Liquid Swords at 14, Ready to Die at 12. So including impact, lyrics, production, sequencing, versatility, how songs translate live, and creativity, would It Was Written beat Ready to Die and move to number 12? I don't think so. What say you?
I mean, Mike, it would have to beat Liquid Swords first. When we were going through Liquid Swords, it wasn't beating Liquid Swords for a stretch of songs, Mike. Like when we got to fourth, think about this, Mike. Think what? We got to Labels and Nas Is Coming. That's Labels, right?
I think so.
Fourth chamber and affirmative action. That's fourth chamber, right?
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love the setup, Mike, shadow boxing of the setup is shadow
Come on,
boxing.
man. Yeah.
Killer Hills 10304, Black Girl Lost. Well, that's Killer Hills 10304. You feel me?
It is.
Mike, investigative reports or suspect? Investigative reports.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 in a row in the heart of It Was Written.
Yeah.
That's how dope Liquid Swords is. So it's like, but top 15 consideration is more than like apropos.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, not from ATL, but was B.I.B.I. big out there in 2000? That song was everywhere, it seemed like. I still love it. Guilty pleasure. Yeah, it was big out here. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Matthew with the super chat says, Pun out-rapped Nas on John Blaze, killed Banned from TV, second to Cannabis on Fantastic Four, and rapped alongside Thought, Prodigy, Deck, Fat Joe on Capital Punishment. Just saying. Yeah, Pun was a heavyweight. No pun intended. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, no play in GA, absolutely over 85. Everything else Coop says is valid. LOL. Okay.
I used to get crunk for no more playing GA. 85 held up better though.
Again, I've said this on the show before. I wasn't even really a Pastor Troy fan.
Are you talking about overall? Because in that year, yeah, no more playing GA maybe for that year, but it's like overall, Mike, 85, you can still play 85.
No, I'm talking about in that year. Like if we're picking the song, if we're picking the song of the year in the city in that year, yeah, it's definitely no more playing GA. Like he changed the whole landscape. He had drama coming with Left, Right, Left, Miracle with Bounce, Bounce. Like all of that is Pastor Troy. Same thing with Archie Eversole with We Ready. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to him. All of that comes from No More Playing GA. Like Troy took over the city. And I know people had issue with the fact that, a lot of people on the Facebook thread are talking about Ludacris not really having a year. And they were saying
for that, Mike, when year Welcome to Atlanta come out?
2002.
And you just made a welcome. You made an Atlanta list, and Welcome to Atlanta didn't win for 2002. What you put in this place?
2002 was Get Low. Listen, I left Welcome to Atlanta off.
I feel you. No,
but see, this is what I did, Coop. I left Welcome to Atlanta off on purpose. I left it off of honorable mentions just to see if anybody would say anything. Nobody said anything.
I just did.
I mean, you did, but it's your job to kind of do those things. But nobody sat there and looked at that list and said, "Where's Welcome to Atlanta?"
You know what? This is the thing. Baghdad was Mike. Mike, where's Bombs Over Baghdad?
I love Bombs Over Baghdad, but the city wasn't playing Bombs Over Baghdad like that. Just wasn't. I love Southern Hospitality, but the city was not playing Southern Hospitality
over. In Greensboro when Southern Hospitality came out, so I don't know.
Yeah, the city wasn't playing Southern. I don't think I've never been to a club in Atlanta and heard Southern Hospitality played. I never have. Even in that period where it's clubbing heavy. Never heard it. Never.
What about what's the other Damn by Youngbloods?
Damn came out. That had to go up against Knuck If You Buck. No, that was going up against Never Scared. That was 03. It wasn't gonna win that. And I love Damn. Wasn't gonna win that one. Never Scared was too important. But it got
Snap Your Fingers. What about Snap Your Fingers? With 40 and Sean Paul. What year Snap Your Fingers?
You like that?
It was pretty big, man.
That did anything. Lil Jon had a lot of representation. The one Lil Jon record that I hate I didn't put on honorable mention was Who You With. But I think that between that and Shawty Freak a Little Something was the pick. Now,
what year is 24s, Mike?
What's that?
TIP? 24s.
24s is 03. Never Scared. It's an honorable mention. Nah, it's not.
I think I'm taking 24s over Never Scared.
Nah, man.
No, niggas. No, Mike. Everybody was out here playing 24s. Like you can't say that they wasn't.
I agree with you, but Never Scared.
I was outside every day.
24s was getting played. I agree with you, but I think Never Scared. When you look at this list, Never Scared is the beginning of the Atlanta run, and nobody got Never Scared is when Atlanta took the ball and never gave it back.
It wasn't Mike. It's not 24s in the city.
What do you mean? Never Scared made
you're
T.I. It did.
24 is a better song. It's bigger in the
I
city,
mean,
Mike.
you're
It's
you're going
everywhere.
on better
When
songs,
24,
but
no, Mike, when 24s dropped, it was a moment. He took the city with
oh, he
24.
did. He took the city with a few records though. I think 24s you don't know.
24s is the record, Mike.
24s is
24s is the
dope,
record that
but
he
it's
took the
not.
city with.
It's not over. Never Scared, man.
It
It's
is,
not.
Mike. Put the poll up,
What do
Mike.
y'all think? We'll
Put the
put the
poll
poll up.
up,
I'll
Mike.
put
You're
the poll up.
tripping.
CJ Kid
You
with the
got
super
never
chat
scared
says,
over 24s. Are
"Yeah,
you
man.
high, Mike?
No, man.
You
I love
wild for that?
24s.
No,
It
Mike. I
gets an
was
honorable
outside
mention, but it
every
ain't like that.
single day out here.
Nah. I mean, nah. I give T out a
Every Chevy with rims on it was playing 24s. Niggas walking around with 10s playing 24s. With
CJ
17s
Kid with the super chat
playing
says,
24s. No.
CJ Kid with the super chat says, you said it had to beat Liquid Swords, but you guys had It Was Written beating Supreme Clientele a week or two ago. So by proxy, isn't It Was Written better than Liquid Swords if Supreme Clientele is higher on the list? See, that's where we get into all of this.
By proxy. Is that what we're doing? By proxy.
But see, that's the trouble you get into when you do the song for song thing. You know what I mean? Like,
correct.
And
because
song for song doesn't always make something a better album.
Right, because how about this? As much as I love Liquid Swords, I believe part of the reason why I put Supreme Clientele ahead of it was about how Supreme Clientele feels.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And the sequencing. And
no, the sequencing on Liquid Swords is flawless, Mike.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in relation to like It Was Written.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I mean, you could say that in relationship to It Was Written. Liquid Swords sequencing is flawless like Supreme Clientele is.
All right, let's see real quick, man. I want to put this poll up because, Never Scared.
Very problematic that you tried the streets like that, Mike.
No, man. Fact, Mike, Never Scared is all of those things. Never Scared.
You need to put elevators up for 96 too, Mike. While we at it, Mike. You wild out here. You wild out here.
I love elevators.
Mike, I spent the summer of '96 down here when elevators dropped.
Mike. And elevators would be my second pick. In that sense, hold on 1 second.
It's a little, Mike. It's a little shady, but I can't let that talk fade me.
Let me see. Song, and we got 24s, and we got Never Scared. Never Scared did a lot for the city. See what else we got here on the super chats before I go into this other thing people keep talking about. Leroy Green says, why Atlanta ain't supporting Field Mob like that? I love Field Mob. Even though, they're from Albany. I rock with Field Mob. Yeah, Never Scared is going to win that.
Me and Smoke used to have the same barber.
LP with the super chat says, Fabo's Spaceships on Bankhead was an Atlanta classic. Yes, it was.
Spaceships on Bankhead. Did you put that in there, Mike?
No, that's the same year as I'm the Man. So, Shawty Law's I'm the Man's the pick. And I do want to get into that, too.
Oh, what year did They Know come out, Mike?
They Know is 08. I think They Know in the Trap Say A with OJ the Juice Man and Gucci. I mean, that could go
They
either
Know,
way.
Mike. Because think about the They Know remix, too, Mike. You tripping again.
That could go either way. I will admit that one. That one can go either way. I feel like
you got all these out of towners in the chat picking Never Scared.
I mean, Never Scared is just Never Scared is not. But let's not act like Never Scared's on some Southern hospitality stuff. It got played in the city heavy too. It did everything the 24s did and more. That's the difference. It's not like Welcome to Atlanta. We're not going to act like Never Scared some Welcome to Atlanta type of record. It's not. It was getting played here heavy.
What kind of disrespect is that?
It's not disrespect. Welcome to Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta was getting played down here, Mike.
Welcome to Atlanta is the Out of Towners Atlanta song. Listen to the production.
Mike, I moved down here the year that got made. It got played on the radio.
And that's exactly why T.I. made the record in the A. If you're on YouTube, you can look at that one up too. He's like, what's all this yo, 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 yo? This is an Atlanta song. Nothing about that.
Nothing
about that beat.
Mike.
Nothing about that beat screams Atlanta. Dun 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 dun. Come on, man.
Like,
It's what Empire State of Mind is for New Yorkers. New Yorkers don't listen to Empire State of Mind like that. That's for the out of towners, and that's cool. It's cool. That's what they made it
and
for.
thoughts of Mike D are not reflective of
It's
according
the
to hip hop
truth.
vibe.
Cool. Even on the remix, instead of getting Atlanta niggas on the remix, they got Murphy Lee on the remix, Snoop Dogg on the remix, and Puff Daddy on the remix. Welcome to Atlanta's for out of towners. It's not for Atlanta people. It is what it is. Why wasn't there a welcome
to Atlanta?
Why
Mike.
wasn't there
Of course
a
it's for out of towners?
Exactly.
Of course it's for out of towners.
Exactly.
So
And that's
welcome to Atlanta.
and that's why it's not on this list.
Not like nigga, I seen you at the Best Buy yesterday. It's not
Exactly.
called that, Mike.
And this list is for Atlanta people. Now, if we do an out of towners list, it'll be full of Jeezy, Ludacris, and Jermaine Dupri.
Just click like and subscribe.
Chris Daughtery with the super chat says, Coop, my age tells the truth. 49 have to debate Leroy Green enough on the lies. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, I ain't gonna let up, DG YOLO, Bricks by Gucci Mane. Those are great.
Bricks. Mike,
And you know
Bricks
what? I think I left off Young Dro, We Be in the City, and fuck that bitch. I think Young
and
Dro.
Shoulder Lean, Mike. What year is Shoulder Lean?
Shoulder Lean came out during a heavy time. I don't think Shoulder Lean had. Let's see. I like Shoulder Lean, but
What year?
I think he had a better. I think he had a better chance on those other records. Shoulder Lean, Young Dro.
Oh my goodness, what is
Yeah, Shoulder Lean's 06. He's not winning that.
No. That's T.I.
Yeah.
It's T.I.P.
Yeah, it is. But yes, the biggest thing that people seem to have a problem with is the fact that I picked I'm the Man over Jeezy's
Where's
Trap
So
or Die.
Icy, Mike? Hold on. Where's So Icy?
Yeah, So Icy should be in the honorable mentions.
You're fired, Mike.
No.
What year is So Icy, Mike?
So Icy, I think is, let's see, hold on. So Icy, I want to say was 05, 06.
All types of
Yeah, that was
stores.
05.
And So Icy too, Mike.
I'm cool with So Icy, but
Very problematic.
let me
with
tell
So
you,
Icy.
let me tell you why I picked I'm the Man. Because not only was that a hit right away in the city, but it's been copied so many times. Like,
Where's Laffy Taffy at, Mike?
nah, that's for everybody else. That's
White
not,
Tee? No.
That's on the honorable mentions. But yeah, let me parlay for I'm the Man real quick. You know how I'm the Man starts off, right? I don't know what y'all been told. Shawty low back on the road. What's up? That's what's happening. How many times have you heard that line itself? Whether that's Drake, whether that's Soulja Boy. I've just about every line on I'm the Man I've heard somewhere else. Not to mention the beat being reused to launch Young Dolph's career. Rest in peace. I think I'm the Man needs to get that type of
What year is that? That's 08?
That's 05.
Oh no, Mike, you fired. Yeah, you fired.
I'm the Man. I think I'm the Man is way more important than the song Trap or Die. And I think what people have to realize with the Jeezy thing, it was a collection of songs, and it wasn't just one song that did it. It could have been Get Your Mind Right. It could have been Trap or Die, even though Bun B's on there. But I don't think there's a record that has been copied, remixed, reflipped more in that era than I'm the Man.
What about Lose My Mind off Trap or Die 2 with Plies? What year is it?
Okay. I guess that could be honorable mention. I don't think that's
No, what year, Mike? Damn the honorable mention.
Lose My Mind.
It's Trap or Die 2.
Yeah, I know.
You're so disrespectful. Every chance you get to disrespect
That's
Jeezy.
2011, yeah. That's past my prime stuff. That's Racks on Racks, man.
No, it's not. It's Lose My Mind.
Are you serious? Please. Racks on Racks changed the game, man. Come on, man. Nah. And no, it did. And I was outside for that one, man. No, Racks on Racks was the record that the DJs was throwing repeats on. Shit even had a dance to it. And then when Kanye jumped out there racks on racks on racks, Maybachs on back. I was like, okay,
What about I
this
Do,
song is
Mike?
connected.
What about I Do with 3 Stacks and Hove?
What year was that? Again, that was
I think that was the following year. I think we got a little 103 after we got a little Trap or Die too.
And what do you expect that song to be? Rigor Ross 7 said Jeezy's overrated as fuck. Listen, I ain't say it. I do.
Rigor Ross about to lose admin duties real soon.
No, Rigor Ross speaking the truth. Don't be afraid to speak the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I Do is 2011 as well. Yep, first time people heard Future was Racks on Racks. Man, that shit's a fucking monster. But yeah,
I'm surprised Tony Montana didn't win, Mike.
I mean, trying to give everybody some space, man. What I realized,
I'm assuming Mask Off and March Madness won.
Yeah, Mask Off 17, March Madness 15. Future's represented a lot. In recent years, I would say Thug
Funny
and
how you don't have Outkast represented, Mike, except one time.
Oh. I was going to get there. The person that's actually represented here the most.
What about The Way You Move, Mike?
Let me finish. The person that's... Cool. Man, come on, man. I love The Way You Move, but I'm, and no pun intended, but, you know, let's keep it real. You know when that came out, right? That was 03. Not winning that in the city, man.
What's 03?
03 is everything from Damn, Never Scared, 24s. No.
Never Scared?
Yeah.
You got Never Scared over The Way You Move, Mike?
In the city of Atlanta, yes.
Mike, you fucking up, Mike.
No, I'm not.
You fucking up.
No,
Mike.
Again, I think you're mistaking this
auntie,
list.
Grandmama, Nana.
But Coop, you're convoluting this list.
Incarcerated ass nigga, trapper, rapper ass nigga, working ass. No, Mike. Nobody think Never Scared better than The Way You Move.
No one is saying better than anything. What record was getting more burn in the city? And honestly, let me finish, Coop. Let me finish. Coop, let me finish.
Nothing.
Coop, let me finish. Big Boy didn't make The Way You Move to bump in Atlanta. He didn't. He made that for the nation, and that's cool. But I want to say this though. I want to say this though. Big Boy is represented.
It made me sick of the song, Mike. It got played so much.
When you were outside, or you talking about the radio?
Mike, which song you really?
So you was in the pool palace and shit, and niggas was playing The Way You Move. Let's keep it real.
The Way You Move played at every club that I was in, Mike. There wasn't a time that I was in the club that The Way You Move didn't get played, Mike. I don't know where you were.
We were like 21 years old at that time. So you telling me when we was going to Club Envy?
Shit was everywhere.
No. When we were going to Club Envy, the warehouse, and the library, niggas was playing The Way You Move. You're not being honest.
Not at the library.
Come on, man. You're not being honest. Come on.
Mike, also too, Mike, I always had a little bit of a grown aesthetic. I wasn't always at those same clubs I was at. I went to some more adult establishments.
Well,
so yeah,
that ain't what we talking about. We're not talking about the Luther Vandross club.
Live that thugged out life, Mike.
We're not talking about the Luther Vandross club.
I put some hard bottoms on sometime, Mike, and I went some different places. And yeah, The Way You Move was getting played.
Yeah, that ain't what we talking about right now. But what I will say though, what I realized from this list, Atlanta's had a long run.
Did you even put The Way You Move on honorable mention?
What's that?
Did you even put The Way You Move on your honorable mention list?
You're not letting me finish. What I was going to say, Coop, Big Boy's actually represented on here more than anybody. Is what I know.
And it's not enough representation. I don't care.
No. And I'm not saying that to appease what you're saying about The Way You Move. I'm just saying in general. Big Boy is on Dirty South. Big Boy is on Elevators, obviously. Big Boy is on Kryptonite. Big Boy is on Love in Your Mouth.
You picked Cell Therapy over Dirty South, Mike?
Yeah. Big Boy is on 85. And Big Boy is on Players Ball. And the fact that Big Boy is represented so much, and I didn't even try to do this like that. I was just picking songs that are important to the city. I mean, really, Coop. I know you're looking depressed right now, but you really feel like The Way You Move is important to the city of Atlanta musically and sonically? What followed it? Did Atlanta go in the path of that?
Can I ask you something? Let me
I'm
ask you
just
something.
asking you a question. What can you answer the
No,
question?
no, no. Let me ask you something.
Uh-huh.
I want you to name the
You're
better.
gonna answer a question with a question.
Hold on.
That's when I know
When
what
you're
the
saying,
answer is. Just for
hold on.
the
Listen.
people
So,
out there.
no. Let me answer your question. How did the city follow Never Scared if T.I. literally, like a few months later, came out with 24s? That sounds nothing like Never Scared. And that was really the
But
sound that
that's
started taking over, was the sound that Tip and Jeezy was on. That's not Never Scared, Mike. Never Scared's almost like the end of something. It's like, that's why it's like when you saying Never Scared, it's like, no, wasn't nobody making Never
well,
Scared after Never Scared.
no,
Tip made 24s after Never Scared and made trap music,
You're
Mike. That's
talking
nothing
about
like Never
them.
Scared.
But you can't act like records like No Problem from Scrappy, records like Knuck If You Buck from Crime Mob, records like Headbusters from Trillville, records like Youngblood's Damn didn't come after Never Scared. Never Scared did
No, see,
influence a
Mike.
Sonic. T.I. went into his direction, which he should have done. He was already doing that anyway. Never Scared was just a platform for him. But let's not act like Never Scared didn't set the tone for something that was going afterwards. Nobody was out here making, the way you move except for Dungeon Family affiliate folks, as they should.
So, what I'll tell you from somebody who at the time was outside looking in, because Mike, I moved back down here from Greensboro in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're telling me that Never Scared is the record that like did it, I'll tell you from somebody that was in Carolina for those years that came back down here, no more playing GA is really that record if you talking that way, and Never Scared is really more just an extended play off of that.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
Well,
no more playing
it is,
GA
Mike, and it ain't like that, and it's definitely not the way that you move.
You want to see what the poll said? 75 votes, Never Scared, 76% to 24's 24%.
That's fine. It's not the way you move.
DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, I'm from Miami.
Now to answer your question, Mike, I want you to answer mine after you get done with the super chat, since I answered yours.
Sure, for sure. Of course. DJ Bruce Almighty says, I'm from Miami, but I lived in Atlanta in 08, and Shawty Low was the man. They were rocking with him more than T.I., and I'm not a fan. LOL, that's real. Ben Kid represent.
Yeah.
CJ Kidd with the super chat says, the way Coop said, the way you move is such passion and vigor. Say it again, Coop. You got a fan out there. Let's see.
You're doing this to. How about this?
But yeah, I'll answer your question.
I want you to name Big Boy's 3 best solo records right now, Mike.
Best or my favorite?
Best. Nobody asking you your personal favorites. Like Unhappy's a personal favorite. That ain't one of his 3 best records.
Well, I think West Savannah, definitely.
I think West Savannah's number 1.
I mean, he has an incredible catalog, so it's really, really tough to. I want to pick records where he doesn't have a feature either. I say The Way You Move has to be there.
Huh?
I said The Way You Move has to be there.
Okay, so can we pause right quick, Mike? It's West Savannah and The Way You Move. Like, why are we having this conversation? And if he's Big Boy to you, how is that record not bigger than Never Scared? That's literally like their
That's not
peak.
the same thing. I mean, honestly,
it's a better song too, Mike. It's held up, but it was better when it came out, Mike. It's better now. It helped contribute to winning a Grammy. It got just as much play, if not more play, locally and nationally, Mike.
You know me, I'm a huge Outkast fan, huge Big Boy fan, but there's no way I could justifiably say The Way You Move is the song of the year in Atlanta. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about everything. Never Scared covered everybody.
Never Scared was not getting played more than the way that you move, Mike. That's what I'm trying to say.
I was working in radio at the time. It was. It was, man.
Like, what I'm saying, there are R&B stations down here that were playing The Way You Move. They wasn't playing Never Scared.
Well,
Stop
that's
telling
nice.
That lie.
That's nice. This is not the kind of.
How is that true?
This is not the kind of list for that. I guess I'm
If they're
gauging.
competing on a
Listen,
rap level, Mike, and the
again,
R&B stations playing the record, what's getting played more?
I hear what you're saying, but that's a different list.
I don't think
That's a
so.
different list. That's an out of towner list. You know
It's
what I
still a
mean?
rap song, Mike. No, I'm
It
talking
is
about
a
Mike.
rap song, but the impact does. BDS spins um, don't only register the impact. The impact that Never Scared has, the Way You Move just didn't have on the city. Now the Way You Move is a bigger record because it's more of a national record, and that's cool.
That's not true. That's not true, Mike. You're looking at it from the perspective of your 21-year-old eyes, and you're overrating the club and underrating the crossover now. You see what I'm saying? You're saying those BDS spins don't matter. It's like, well, Mike, all that club play for Never Scared don't matter then. Since
I
you
think
want
the
to play it like
crossover
that.
stuff's a different list. I think all of that,
Mike,
the
rap songs
impact.
Mike, rap songs that cross over don't get held off the top 50 rap songs of all time list. You can't do that to The Way You Move. If so, we wouldn't have the crossroads so high. That sounds
It's
absurd.
different when you're talking about local stuff. And
Explain the crossroads, Mike.
you're talking about two
Is it
different
one
things.
of the 50 best rap songs ever?
I think it is.
Did it cross over?
Mm-hmm.
Then what's the difference between the crossroads and The Way You Move?
Because
You think niggas in Cleveland is like, oh no,
Can I
that
answer?
ain't that. Stop playing.
Can
Mike.
I answer? Crossroads had an impact on hip hop and on that year that The Way You Move didn't have on the city of Atlanta in the year of 2003.
That's kind of funny, Mike. What record do you think more people in Atlanta were playing The Way You Move or Never Scared?
Never
Because if you're
Scared.
saying Never Scared, then you're wrong, Mike. That's what I'm saying. That's your club ears. You're not thinking about the
That's
women.
the streets.
No, Mike. You're not thinking about the women. First of all, it's Big Boy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like, no, he's Big Boy. So like everybody in the streets is listening to the record. It's Big Boy.
You want to poll this
is
one too?
Atlanta, Mike. Stop trying to make it seem like that.
You
want to
poll that one too?
It's The Way You Move.
You want to poll that one too?
Yeah,
Let's see.
let's poll that.
Which
You are
song should be?
You be up here talking crazy sometimes.
I'm keeping
This
it real,
crazy.
man.
You ain't
I don't
keeping
show
nothing
favoritism.
real. All I'm saying is you making it seem like Never Scared was something that it wasn't, Mike.
No, you're undercounting Never Scared.
Never Scared is more
Scared's
known for
important.
being T.I.'s introduction than anything, Mike. It's not known for the song. It's known for being Tip's introduction. It's Tip's theme.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
It's the truth, Mike.
That's
People
not
outside
the
of
truth.
Atlanta will tell you that the only thing that they really know about Never Scared is that it's Tip's coming out party. People inside the city will tell you it's Tip's coming out party.
It is that because that's
Mike,
the truth, but that's not what it's
the
known
song,
for.
The song ain't all that, Mike. It's Tip's coming out party. Like, I'm
Let's
sorry.
see what
it's kind of like
people
it's kind of like the
say.
South's version of Nas at like live at the barbecue or Snoop on Deep Cover. It's like no, it's the coming out party of like arguably our greatest MC. Like it ain't.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, Mike, why you ain't fight more for Cool Breeze on the radio back then? I had no power, bro. That's why we're here right now. That's why I had to start my own thing.
You had no power.
I didn't.
Ridiculous.
Go holler at Jerry
I wanna
Smoking
talk
B
albums
about
that have
that.
been released this year before we go at something.
I had no power in radio. I was like 19
And
years old.
you intentionally kept Jeezy off.
I didn't intentionally keep Jeezy off. I literally sat there and listened to I'm the Man and Trap or Die back to back 4
What about
times.
Go Crazy?
What about Go Crazy?
That
Jay-Z on
played
it?
everywhere, Mike.
Because of Jay-Z on it?
You see how they...
I mean, it's an Atlanta list, man. No disrespect.
You're trifling, Mike. No, you're trifling. Mike.
It's an Atlanta list. And honestly, I try. You know what? I'm going to also say this.
What about Spody Odie Dopalicious, Mike?
Didn't even have a video. Great song, though.
You talking about in the streets, Mike?
Yeah.
Every band in the South was playing that shit that year.
Including my band. But it wasn't
That's not good
Raheem's
enough, huh?
most beautiful girl in the world.
Hater.
Nah, I think Raheem's joint was bigger. And you know how I feel about Akumina. I mean, I could easily, let's just keep it all the way 100, Coop. I could have easily just ran down a whole bunch of Outkast and Goody Mob songs, to be real.
No, you couldn't have. It wasn't like that, but some of it was.
I mean, I could have easily just said, you know what? Not instead of, I could have easily said, you know what? Instead of representing the Bankhead Bounce and that part of Atlanta, let me just put Elevators. Or I could have easily said in '98, you know what? Let's do Rosa Parks. but I don't think that gives you a full picture. And
If
I could have
somebody,
easily, you know what? I could have easily said, you know what, '03, the way you move, you know, that went diamond or whatever. But it doesn't give you the full picture of the city and its history. It's also a timeline piece. And you said it yourself. That is T.I.'s coming out party. So not only was that a big song, but that's a big moment for that. And I think that that deserves a spot on '03 when you're looking at it from a time capsule standpoint. It is.
like, I came down here from North Carolina in 1996 that summer. Nothing got played more than Elevators. Nothing.
Not even the bankhead bounce.
Nothing. I'm gonna say it again. As somebody that came down here that was a hip hop lad that literally listened to the radio down here constantly,
Me too.
because it was totally different than Charlotte radio. Elevators.
Me and you. Jay Short with the super chat says, I get what you're saying, Mike. Poll folks out here, people who would say probably The Click is E40's most impactful album, but it wasn't a nationwide hit. Exactly. Never Scared's winning this one too.
No, Mike, isn't that the one that got Sprinkle Me on it?
Mm-hmm.
We all knew about that in Carolina.
No, is he talking about that? But you know what? That's why I think the Bay and Atlanta really connect, because I feel where Jay Short's coming from.
Charlotte.
No, I feel where Jay Short's coming from, because a lot of these things, these are things that people in the city know. Like, on the outside, yeah, they're going to be like, oh, Ludacris. What about Welcome to Atlanta, this and that? But it's like, no, man. Like, and I love The Way You Move. The Way You Move is great. But that didn't even cross my mind. And even if you look at the comment section, I think it's on the Facebook post, like 500 comments. Nobody in there is bringing up The Way You Move for '03. They're not.
Never Scared's winning the poll again.
I know you don't like the record, obviously, but it's what it is. It's a beast. It's a beast, man.
Very problematic.
But like I said, I think that I feel the So Icy pick. I think that's a legitimate claim there. I just think that I'm the Man fits better, in my opinion. But I wouldn't gripe with the So Icy thing. I wouldn't gripe with the They Know thing either. I think that's legitimate. But
I'm more They Know than So Icy.
I think the Trap Say A was huge, though.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
That could go either way. Now, that one could go either way. I will admit that. But I think my mindset was, you know, since I'm the Man is such a strong one that I think needs to be represented in that way. I think that, you know, it just kind of shows the versatility. And I think that I think that was my way of thinking with the Trap Say A. I remember this was kind of Gucci's coming out party after he got released. And I remember that song just getting played like crazy. And I think that record in '08 really shows you how big Gucci was and how much of a machine Gucci was when he hit the block when he got out. So I think that it's kind of, like I said, a timepiece, a time capsule. All of these songs tell the story of that year. I know people think I hate Jeezy. That's not the truth.
It's very problematic, Mike. You would think you were the one that were raised on the east side the way that you hate Jeezy.
No, I like Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? I think Jeezy did some good things.
Just real quick, and then we can go to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you have Cell Therapy over Dirty South if we're keeping it local, truly? Because that's what I'm saying. You're talking all this local stuff, but then you got Cell Therapy instead of Dirty South, and that's not accurate either.
You were here in '95, right?
No, I was in Charlotte in '95.
Yeah, they were playing Cell Therapy a lot. Cell Therapy
we didn't get any Cell Therapy. We got a lot of Dirty South.
Okay. Yeah, they were playing Cell Therapy a lot.
I'm the one that put niggas on Cell Therapy. Cell Therapy and Benzer Beamer were on the tape together.
Yeah, Greg Street was playing Cell Therapy a lot.
But you don't remember that? The Cell Therapy, Benzer Beamer on the same tape?
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to keep it real with you. I sat here and wrestled with, really the other choice was Soul Food to me. Like, it was like, okay, Dirty South has to get that recognition because it came up with a whole subgenre. But Cell Therapy, Dirty South, and Soul Food all got played a lot. Soul Food might have gotten played slightly more than both of them. So, but I don't know. I just think that when all those things are even, Cell Therapy is just the superior record to all of them. T Nitty with the super chat says Gucci and Jeezy are not from Atlanta. Hey.
Get Mike started. Don't get Mike started.
Again,
that's like saying
man,
Prodigy's not from the bridge.
Yeah, and Ludacris is not from. I mean, we could do this all day. Jermaine Dupri,
Right.
big boys from Savannah, and Pastor Troy's from Augusta. But these songs were big in the city,
from Albany.
Yeah, and these guys came into the city to make it. I don't think that I respect what Phil Bob did for representing Albany in the way they did. But I think that it hurt them not being associated with Atlanta enough. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. They kept it real, and they represented for Albany, and I think they really wanted to put Albany on the map, and I think that's very admirable. But I think they missed a lot by not, ingratiating themselves in Atlanta early. I guess they saw what Troy did, but Troy came to Atlanta and made it happen. Even though he never really claimed Atlanta like that, but he still ingratiated himself in the city, was in all the spots. I said Gucci moved to Atlanta when he was 9. Yeah. Again, like you said, it's like that Prodigy and the Bridge thing. It's like
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm from Charlotte, but I moved to Atlanta when I was 10 months old. I'm not from Atlanta now.
Ludacris is an Atlanta legend. You know what I'm saying? And he's from Illinois somewhere, but he came here, became a radio legend, and became a legend on the mic too. And
right. I was here till I was 12. I came back when I was 19. I'm not from here.
I also was like, you know what, should Move from Luda be on there? And again, that's when I kind of went to the features where...
That's 03 too, ain't it?
Move is 02. That's Get Low year. This is
02, how... 02, 03, 04 is very problematic.
And, and this is how I kind of tried to, rationalize it, and maybe right or wrong, putting this list together. I tried to keep it as Atlanta as possible, unless it was just something you just couldn't, just couldn't owed. So when it came to the features,
Elevators is that?
No, of course, that's on the honorable mentions, but I'm talking about records that featured, a Mystical or a Bun B, and it's like, I tried to keep even the features very Atlanta, even with Kilo doing Love in Your Mouth with Big Boy. So, like with Go Crazy with Jay-Z and stuff, like I didn't really consider that because, you know what I mean? Like it's not Atlanta. So I kind of considered those things on this list too. And I also noticed that Drake jumped on a lot of Atlanta songs that were already working. Because even if you look at some of the songs that feature people, most of them, it's featured another Atlanta act. And I kind of gave those precedence over, features that come from somewhere else. Jay Short with the super chat says, maybe I'm hearing you wrong, Mike, but it seems like ATL doing a lot of gatekeeping about local location that ATL accuses New York of doing. That's problematic. No, that's other people doing that. I think that Atlanta's always embraced people who come from Augusta, who come from Albany, who, again, come from, Jazzy Faye's from Memphis, right? We embrace Jazzy Faye. You know
I don't
what I'm
know
saying?
About that, Mike, because when you hear Big Gip make the Ludacris comment, I think that's kind of maybe changing some of that trajectory.
I think Big Gip feels the way he feels, and I've heard people like Sammy Sam say similar things too. But I think just when you look at it in action, it's clear that Atlanta's embraced people from other cities. Dallas Austin's from somewhere else in Georgia, Jermaine's from North Carolina.
Okay, but see, this is what I mean. So that's not a musical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, this is what I try to get people to understand. You have to know your history, though. Atlanta's been that for Black people across this nation literally since we were freed from slavery. Atlanta has literally been the hotbed Mecca place. Like, Mike, from the time that we were
the birth of Dr. King.
Mike, listen to what I'm saying. From the time that we were free, this has been a top 3 to 5 destination for Black people. Not for like 10 or 20 years, Mike, for like 130 years. Not just right. About music, about all the things. This is a city that exists because it's one of the black hubs to take all the comers.
Yeah. No, real. AB Studio with the super chat says, y'all think Ludacris got joints? I think he got 4. Ludacris got joints. And I think that I wish his verses would have been against somebody other than Nelly, so he could have been able to kind of pull out a lot of those joints. This is what I'm gonna say too. I think that doing this list, I realized that Atlanta's kind of been on a pretty long run, and I'm trying to think in my mind. And like I told you, I reached out to Jar from Rap Roundtable. What other city could justifiably even do a list like this, and where we're sitting here arguing over years? Even though I do feel like towards the top of the,
They gonna argue about every year in New York, Mike.
what would you say? 06 for New York.
Probably 50.
What would
I
you
Get
say?
Money.
I
Get
Get
Money
Money's
06?
07.
Huh?
I Get Money's 07. Because New York kind of hit a dry spell around those times.
Lloyd Banks Fire with 50 is probably 06.
I think that's 05. Somebody said the Atlanta run is over. You know what? Based on what I did on this list, it looks like it. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it's slowing down. Like, look at the end of it. The end of it's pushing P.
Oh yeah. Hold on, Mike.
Go ahead.
What year did Drip Too Hard with Lil Baby and Gunna come out? Because that's the one.
I think that was, I got Lil Baby on that year, I believe. Hold on, Drip Too Hard.
Yeah, Drip Too Hard is the one, Mike.
Nah, I remember looking at Drip Too Hard. The actual song. Yeah, that shit was hard. Yeah, that was 18. And for 18, it was Yes Indeed, Lil Baby.
Nah, Drip Too Hard.
Over Yes Indeed? I want to ask the people that one. I want to ask the people that one. That's a good one. Because those are the two.
And I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. That might be the end of the run, Mike.
Looks like it. And you know,
I think Drip Too Hard's the end of the run.
Unfortunately, man, when you got this thing that's going on with the YSL thing, it puts Thug out of play, who's a major player clearly towards the end of this list. And you got what happened with Takeoff and the Migos going through what they're going through. It puts them out of play, and they're very heavy at that bottom end of Atlanta. It's like the only person to really hold the torch is Future, because Lil Baby just dropped something that was very forgettable. And yeah, Atlanta needs a bit of a resurgence. I mean, we've had a very, very long run, like I said, based on this list. But yeah. Oh, let me see. What's the
Gunna's really been the guy down here the last 5 to 7 years, Mike.
I agree. And he's going through it now too, you know?
There's all sorts.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know how that's like. How about this? This ain't no R. Kelly situation, because it's like R. Kelly ain't never no street dude. You know what I mean? He's a singer, so it's like, even though he's a nasty bastard, he was just one chocolate factory away from being absolved. It's like, I don't know. You know, I don't know if Gunna is a pushing P or Drip Too Hard or a 24K jacket away from being absolved. You know what I'm saying? Because streets really don't work that way.
Right. No, I agree. Jay Short with the super chat says, do you think Atlanta could beat Memphis in the verses? You know I'm a huge Memphis fan, and I don't, yes. I mean, the versatility of Atlanta alone, just look at, whether you agree or you disagree with this list, the versatility of Atlanta is very clear on this list.
But you want to know what, Mike? All that Jeezy and Outkast you left off, you would need to beat Memphis stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the honorable mentions definitely would be utilized.
You know what I'm telling you, Mike, is that some of that stuff you got on that list, it's like, oh, you're not playing that and beating some of that Memphis stuff. You're going to have to pull out some of that Jeezy. And some, yeah.
Okay, I would get specific, but we'd be here all day. Leroy Green with the super chat says,
interest you in Trap or Die 1 or 2, Mike.
Leroy Green says, where's the soul music of Atlanta? No more soul food. What do you mean? Trap music, crunk music, and all that soul. All that stuff that y'all say isn't lyrical and that hits chakras on people in a different way, that's soul music. There's no other way to explain that other than soul. It's updated soul. It's not your grandmama's soul with James Brown sliding across the floor. But that is soul music. Celeste with the
You
super.
ain't got no Jeezy on this list. You ain't got no
He
Jeezy
on the
on your
honorable mentions.
playlist.
He on the honorable mentions. He on there.
Stupid. What the hell do I know? I'm just a Chi-Town nigga
Man,
with
the
a Nas
Jeezy fans
flow.
are hardcore, man. What? All right, if Jeezy's like that, what year should he have other than 05?
I really don't like how you tried to play Go Crazy, for one. Really don't like how you tried to.
See, go crazy. What year is that? Was that 05 or 06 technically?
Mike, what year is Put On?
I put on.
You talk
for
about
my
how
city.
you be letting Ye carry Jay through everything, but Jeezy can't get a little Put On. Very problematic how you been doing Big Boy and Jeezy lately.
No,
You know, Big Boys follow us on Twitter.
No,
Mike.
no. I don't think. No. Now, don't loop them in the same, because Big Boy is represented on here a lot. He's represented on here more than anybody.
He's really truly represented on is Players Ball, Mike. You don't have him on another record that made the list. So he's not really
easily could have had him on Elevators.
It's Mike, all the honorable mention shit is like handing out them participation trophies. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit.
We all know.
Mike,
listen,
Mike,
Coop.
How about this?
Hold. Let me say this.
No, Mike, I'm not finished. If you
Go
make
ahead.
honorable mention for making the All NBA team, they don't give you $39 million for that. When you make the All NBA team, they give you $39 million more. I don't care about no honorable mention. You got Big Boy on there one time.
He's on there a bunch of times. Listen.
No, Mike, take the honorable mentions off and go by year and read out to me where Big Boy is on the list.
He's on there for 94.
Got him in 94.
Yeah.
No, that.
So, you know clearly.
Like Kryptonite, the way you move, there's too many Big Boy records out there. Dirty South, which he's on.
He's on, yeah. He's on there, yeah. And that's on honorable
mention shit. It's like,
honorable mention for MVP. Very quickly, this list could have turned into just an Outcast and Goody list. Easily. I easily could have had Elevators there for 96. Like I said, it's a timepiece. I don't think that 96, in my personal opinion, What's Up is more indicative of what was going on in the city than 96 than Elevators was. I think the Elevators is clearly the better song, right? But if we're talking about a song that represents the city of Atlanta for the year 1996, it's more What's Up than it is Elevators.
See, I think you're looking at representation, Mike, and you're not picking the best songs. You're trying to represent Atlanta, which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, no, Mike, there's some records that it's like the representation of Atlanta is still within the record. Elevators is one of those records.
Is it though?
It's like, no.
Is it though?
Mike, that is our peak rap moment.
You're talking about something different.
It is literally
something different.
It's literally like, Mike, the reason that Atlanta got to run the rap scene is literally centered around the Dungeon family. Mike, specifically centered around that time in that album. Specifically that song, so? Mike.
You think Elevator, huh? I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Mike, one summer when I was in Atlanta, Mike, I woke up, Mike, and I was watching Def Comedy Jam, Mike, and they were recording in L.A. And the dude came out, the comedian came out talking about, you heard that Outkast record? You know them dudes, Outkast from Atlanta? You know about that record that they got?
Yeah.
Me and you. Mike, the crowd in L.A. started singing the hook to Elevators. Nah, we ain't never
once
had
again,
it like
Coop.
that. That's
Coop.
bigger than...
It's bigger than...
No.
That's bigger than Michael Jackson doing the Bankhead Bounce on the Soul Train Awards. That's bigger than the Bankhead Bounce being a worldwide... No. Since you want to talk about other influence outside of Atlanta... No. Since you want to talk... So you're telling me a comedian in L.A. coming out asking people if they heard an Outkast song is bigger than the Bankhead Bounce? Bankhead Bounce is a part of hip-hop history. It is.
Mike, so even when you're saying that, I hate to pull your card like this, Mike. On Benz or Beamer in 1995, we learned how to do the Bankhead Bounce in Charlotte from Benz or Beamer from Outkast. Cujo is in the video outside the Mercedes.
You know who else is in the video?
Mike T.
You know who else is in the video?
No, Mike. Pause for a second. You talking about the Bankhead Bounce and where people learned it from. I'm telling you, from somebody outside of Atlanta at the time still learned it from Goody Mob and Outkast, not from Raheem. He was a year late because they're doing the Bankhead Bounce in the Benzer Beamer video. Am I right or wrong?
You're right and wrong. Let me
That's
no. Let me tell you why you're wrong. Because the person that they had in that video was D-Rock from the Yin Yang Twins, and he made the Bankhead Bounce song first in '95. He did, and that's actually on the honorable mentions as well. Diamond featuring D-Rock, Bankhead Bounce. Y'all can YouTube that. And all y'all, hold on, let me finish. Coop, let me finish. Coop, let me finish. And that Benzer Beamer video you're talking about, that's why they had him in the front row. Y'all can look that up on YouTube as well. He's doing the Bankhead Bounce because he made the song. Shout out to Cass for letting him in the video to do that. But let's not sit here and act like it was something else.
Your argument, Mike.
What?
But you're talking about a song in '96 putting people onto the Bankhead Bounce. It's like, nah, Mike, we was on it in '95 off the Benzer Beamer video. That kills that '96 shit you talking about.
No, it continued it on.
Elevators.
It continued it on. It's like 3 different Bankhead Bounce songs.
Mike,
I think
doing it
once
in Charlotte
again,
in Mike, if we doing it in Charlotte in 1995 off of the Benzer Beamer video, then that impact that Mike is not as real as you think that it is.
So in Freaknik '96, ho.
He's already doing the dance.
So
you're
in
telling me
Freak,
that niggas 2 states away is doing the dance, but y'all ain't doing the dance in the city.
Cool. In Freaknik '96, they playing Elevators or they playing What's Up, What's Up? If I do a documentary on Freaknik too, by the way. Let's see if we hear Elevators in it.
I know people in the documentary. It's so problematic.
Yeah. So that's what the super chat says. Mike, wouldn't you consider Get Low more of a 03 song? Kings of Crunk did drop in October 02, but Get Low didn't get released as a single until February 03 and ran into the summer. I like that. You know what? You may be right.
You like that, Mike, but
no, because I remember that. It was the last single off the album.
What I'm saying, Mike. Mike, your whole point about picking the song in '96 is about the Bankhead Bounce, and I'm telling you, well, that's not good enough
because we were doing
of
Atlanta
Bankhead Bounce in '95.
I understand,
and I know we were doing the Bankhead Bounce in '95.
I know you're about.
Tell me niggas in Atlanta wasn't already doing it.
I know you're about mic performances, and obviously the Elevators mic performances outstanding and all of that. But if we talk about what the city of Atlanta looks and sounds like in 1996, it looks and sounds more like What's Up than it does Elevators. And that's just the truth. That's my argument. Mad Max with the super chat said from 2009 to 2013 was the best region in hip hop by far. Yeah. I mean, Coop, you know how big of an Outkast fan I am. I know all their lyrics and all their records front to back. But 1996, I gotta be objective.
During their peak run.
I gotta be objective.
You gave them a record.
I gotta be objective.
You gave them a record.
Because I could also say Rosa Parks would be over Raheem's Most Beautiful Girl in the World. But which one means more to the
No. I feel you on the Most Beautiful Girl in the World. The whole Bankhead Mountain. No.
If it makes you feel any better, it was between that record and Elevators. It was.
And somewhere in your mind, you find it fitting.
Well, I mean, again, which one represents 1996 in Atlanta more? You know?
See, okay, so Mike, what is the list? Is the list top year that represent Atlanta or the best song to come out of Atlanta?
Song of the year.
You talking about represent? Because everything that you're saying is talking about the representation. I'm talking about
exactly.
One record is doing the same thing as the other record, except for one record is better.
No, it's different because Song of the Year is different than Best Song. Song of the Year is about impact, representation.
Song of the Year isn't about the best song.
Huh?
The Song of the Year isn't about the best song.
It's a song that represents that year. It might not always be the best song, but it's what the actual year looks like based on that song. What's the soundtrack of that year? That's what that is. I mean, if we get into best, then yes, it'll be, if I went to best song in Atlanta from 94 to 2000, it's going to be all Dungeon Family stuff. It is.
So this is a representation.
They made the best songs. No, it's just song
They
of the
didn't
year.
always make the best song, Mike. But it's like for a minute they did, and it needs to reflect.
I mean, the best album to come out of it. Now, if we're doing the best album thing, it's a little different. You know what I mean? Or if we're doing best song. But Mad Max with the super chat says the Midwest had the best run from 09 to 13 in the middle of Atlanta's run. Did they? What songs he talking about?
Who you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to think. The Midwest run from 09 to 13.
Man, Mike, let's do some album talk.
Okay. AB Studios with the super chat says, "Why Put On is not on your 08 list. Jeezy lit the city up." Okay. Over They Know, what was the y'all got it over the OJ the Juice Man?
They Know 08?
What's that?
Is They Know 08?
Mm-hmm. And so is the OJ the Juice Man record too.
Okay, see, this is what I'm saying. So if you have something like Put On and They Know, well, I think we know that They Know is probably bigger in the city. Mm-hmm. But that's only because Jeezy already had a name outside the city, so the fire and the buzz wasn't the same.
And also, again, I know I'm kind of nitpicking, but you got to nitpick here. They Know is a Shawty Low record from top to bottom. It's not featuring Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? Even though Kanye West was born in Douglasville, Georgia. Shout out to Kanye West once again. But he represents Chicago. Leroy Green with the super chat says, "I love Atlanta, but I feel like just like in the Bay Area, we rock with anybody from here with no quality control. So it helps, but it also hurts the sound. It's showing love, man. It is what it is."
Right.
Let's see. Okay, you ready to do some album talk?
Might as well.
What's the best album of 2023 so far? I still got Jay Skis. Oh, he's talking about the Chicago run. Yeah, Mad Max says Chicago had Chief Keef, Dirt, Herbo, Big Sean. In Detroit, Ye dropped My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I watched Keef take over New York. You right on that one, bro. I wasn't even thinking about the whole drill movement. 100%. I think even during that time period, though, Mad Max, would you still say that people like Future and even Migos was kind of running the yard, though? I mean, I don't know, man. Atlanta had a great run and is having a great run. We just got to pick it back up, man. We just got to pick it back up. I think Atlanta can do it, though. I don't think our best days are behind us. Thug got to get out of this situation, though.
Things are very broken right now down here.
Mm-hmm. It is. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to put this list together, too. And like I said, it was kind of a time capsule to kind of, show those things. We know Outkast and Goody made some incredibly classic records. But, I wanted something that represented the whole city and that whole timeline, too.
No, I mean, I get what you was doing. I mean, you're still wrong.
I like the way you move. But again, because a list like that can end up being very, very biased. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I went out there and just went on Mike D's favorite stuff, it'd be like, oh, yeah, this nigga's a Dungeon Family fan.
Everybody's a Dungeon Family fan, Mike.
As you should be.
It's not just you.
But there's love.
It's hip-hop.
You know how bad I wanted to put Witch Doctor Holiday on here? But I couldn't justify it. A record that I left off of here, that I even left off the honorable mentions, but I couldn't justify it, is PA Sundown featuring 8 Ball. I love that record. Beautiful record. Perfect from top to bottom. I couldn't justify putting that on there. That's a personal favorite. Beautiful record. Look that up on YouTube, y'all. They need the spins, I love PA. They are the reason why we're here, too. Quick story about PA before we move on. Organized Noise produced their first album. That was the first album that Organized Noise produced.
Correct.
And
it sounds like it, too.
Yeah. And PA, they went on to, form the Attic Crew. And the Dungeon family was like, look, we need our own duo. And they found a young outcast. So there it is.
Indeed.
A little PA
That's very
history
true.
right there.
Very true.
Fantasy.
I'm glad that Mike, I'm glad that you're providing an accurate Atlanta hip hop oral history giving this list.
Using songs, definitely. Fantasy 731 with the super chat says, Mike and Coop, don't forget you guys got JID, Kenny Mason, and Grip from ATL. We also got Earth Gang too.
Earth Gang.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of diversity in this city, and I challenge our New York brothers up there to make a list like that gives us a timeline. And I would be interested to see what the 2000s looks like for New York.
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
Now, the 80s and 90s, New York got on smash. But I'll be interested to see what the 2000s
Mike, what are they
looks
going to
like.
pick for like 94 and 90? I think like 93 is Cream.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Or
I'm saying?
based on what Celeste was saying, it could really be 94 because that's what it carries over into.
True.
Technically. So
94 could be Cream, but what's 93? Award tour?
Well, that's still November. I was going to say along the lines of...
Award tour dropped before the album, though, Mike.
Yeah,
I was hearing Award tour like in September. Like how about this? I moved to Charlotte around the time Award tour was coming out. That was 93. So it's like I can remember Award tour being played and it was still warm outside.
You think Black Moon, maybe? I know we're forgetting something. New York got so much stuff.
Who Got the Props? Might have been before that. Yeah, Who Got the Props might have been there.
95 Shook Ones. That's where I would go off top. You got to stop this Shook Ones 2 thing, man. People were killing you about... Like, that beat is clearly better than Quiet Storm.
It's really not.
I can't believe you. Like, this is crazy.
You're talking about the sample, you're not talking about the beat, but it's okay.
No, the beat's
you don't
crazy.
know. You don't know what to do. Y'all ain't been in the studio enough.
The beat is nuts.
I don't judge you. I don't judge you.
No.
I still put it in the top 20. I put it at 16. You acting like I put it like at 53 or something. It's at 16 on my list.
What you got for 96 in New York?
Ooh, 96 is tough, Mike.
It is.
For New York?
The biggest,
Fugees are from Jersey.
Huh? Yeah. Fugees Jersey.
From Jersey.
Yeah.
Redman's from Jersey.
Yep.
Roots are from Philly. I mean, Mike, it might be If I Rule the World. What's bigger than...
I don't like that pick, but you might be right.
See? But that's what I'm saying. See, Mike, how about this? You made this Atlanta list and you thought about the record and you're like, oh, I don't like that.
No, that's not true.
It's like, no, you picked the record that works,
No. That's not true. You know I like Elevators more than I like...
If I Rule the World, though, Mike, I mean, what's bigger than If I Rule the World coming out of New York in 96?
You might be right. And again, you know, and this is another one. I think it was 01.
Ooh, what about
Vice Versa.
Hill?
Huh?
What about Sugar Hill in 95?
Not over Shook Ones Part 2, no.
Okay.
No.
So you just think Shook Ones is like cheat code, huh?
Yeah. It's one of the best hip-hop records ever. What I was going to say, though, with the Pastor Troy Vice Versa thing, I really wasn't a big fan of that song. I actually liked...
that you picked that.
I actually liked This the City better than that record, but I can't lie and say that record was bigger than Vice Versa. So
no, I like Vice Versa better than This the City.
Yeah. Most people do. That's why, again, I put my personal taste aside and made the right choice, you know?
Okay. I can see you.
97? All About the Benjamins.
Ooh, Mike, what about No Time for 96? You feel better with No Time for 96 than If I Ruled the World?
I do feel better with No Time. I don't know if No Time is bigger than If I Ruled the World, though.
It's not.
So, yeah, If I Ruled the World might be the pick. I mean, whether I like it or not, you know?
I'm Miss Savannah, usually rock.
I feel like we're missing something from 96, though. 96 was a heavy year for New York.
96. I mean, Ghost got All That I Got Is You.
I'm thinking we're missing somebody who didn't make a classic album but a big song.
Blase.
Something like that, yeah. Those types of things.
In my house, oh my God.
That's what I'm thinking.
Tracy Leads the Party.
That was 7, right? I think that was 97.
Check and see.
I feel like that was 97.
Blase's Danger.
Hold on. Is Renee 96?
Renee's not beating If I Rule the World, Mike. I'm sorry. You can try. I mean, you try. You try.
I don't know, y'all. What do y'all think?
I mean, Renee's the better song, Mike, but you tried, but no.
Okay. What am I looking up again? Oh yeah, Tracy Lee.
Tracy Lee, the theme. Biggie smashed that shit too.
Biggie's incredible, man.
Because
yeah, that's 97.
I'm glorious.
Nigga's incredible, man. Probably the most talented lyricist hip hop's ever seen.
The totality of the
straight
lyricism.
up talent, like with the voice, delivery.
It's the bar work with the wordplay.
It's incredible.
With the voice, with the evil genius, with the storytelling ability,
with the versatility early. Because a lot of his peers grew into the versatility. He was versatile early. I
live for the funk. I die for the funk.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, in the earlier 2000s, you couldn't go to any college frat party without Pastor Troy's No More Playing GA playing at least 2 or 3 times. Then fights started.
No, they played 2 or 3 times everywhere. That's fair.
You're right, though.
When you said Never Scared, it's like, no. No More Playing GA is that record. Never Scared, never been like that.
No. Man, Pastor Troy came in Atlanta.
What was that record?
Yeah. Pastor Troy came in Atlanta and changed the landscape. He did. Because it was a lot more soulful stuff, and then he came on some street shit. Like, it was different. Album of the year so far. I'm still going Jay Skis.
I'm going to say Skis.
I think that, he's put together the best album so far.
I concur.
Are there some albums, and we want to talk to the people on this, are there some albums that we're forgetting about in 2023 that need to be mentioned? Or is 2023 just a weak hip-hop year? Because if it continues on like this is going to be the weakest year we've had since 2019, and probably weaker than 2019 ultimately. Because at least in 19 we had Eve, we had Born to Rap.
Okay.
I mean, did J. Cole dropped KOD in 19 as well.
So we had Eve and KOD. Got it.
You ain't like Born to Rap?
It's not good.
I like Born to Rap. I thought Born to Rap was dope.
You know what? I'm gonna go listen to Born to Rap again because you're trying to convince me that it's good.
I like Born to Rap.
I enjoy the game. I fuck with games. So
yeah.
Mike, I mean, so let's go through some of the things we have covered this year.
Mm-hmm.
You circle back around on the Black Thought. What are your thoughts? You haven't circled back around. I saw that pause in your face. You're like, I ain't go back and listen to that shit, Coop. Copy that, Mike.
I haven't, man.
It's very problematic because ain't no aquamarine or no gold teeth on there, like we said.
Exactly. Can I be honest about the Black Thought? Since I'm being honest this show.
If this is your first time being honest, we got issues, Mike.
No, it's not
we're definitely gonna have to get.
I'm always honest. Let me clear that up.
We're gonna have to get a professional business therapist to talk about Mike's business practices, and we're gonna have to get a therapist to discuss all this.
No. I'm always honest, and I'm always honest on this show. But I'm being extra honest this show. I think that it's good from a technical standpoint, but it's kind of boring.
There you go with that. That's what you say about Eminem, Mike. You know that, right? You say that.
No. I say he's good from a technical standpoint, but his shit I can't listen to. I can listen to this.
But you haven't. So why haven't you? Is what I'm trying to ask.
Because I'm not trying to go to sleep. I got work to do, so I can't listen to something that might make me doze a little bit.
So is it too artsy? Is what you're saying?
Too
avant-garde, too chic, too si bon.
No, I mean you put the nail on the head, man. It's it doesn't have those standout records like what he put out last year. I mean, with No Gold Teeth, like these things are epic, man. And I would never say anything like Aquamarine's boring. Like that is cinematic, And I think that he set such a standard musically that this isn't a bad effort. And see, I think he took a chance on here, and I applaud taking the chance. But it clearly hadn't been an album that I want to go back to like that.
First of all, he didn't take a chance. He's using a live band. Mm-hmm. It's not taking a chance.
I think sonically he took some chances. You don't think he took a chance? You think he went in his comfort zone?
That's my problem with the project, Mike. It's that you went to a band.
Mm.
And it's like we've been listening to you rap behind a live band literally the entirety of this time. We want to hear you make some crack music. Like, you know what I
It's
mean?
the
It's like
production, man.
I don't know how else to tell them. It's like, no, we've been waiting a long time for you to make us some crack music. It's like, I don't care if you don't want to. We want crack music. No gold teeth. Mike.
To piggyback
Mike,
on that, no, go ahead.
and because that's what no gold teeth is, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
To
Ain't no
be,
brandishing, homie.
you're
Philly
right.
ain't known for cheesesteak sandwiches only. It's like, no. That's the thought that we showed up to hear. And I'm gonna tell you what, no gold teeth is what I thought Black Thought and DJ Premier were going to sound like together. That's what
We said this when the album
and
came
so it's
out.
like, no, I want to hear that. And if you're going to do artsy avant-garde, she, Simon, it's like, no, aquamarine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They set a standard.
Yeah.
And we said this when him and Danger Mouse dropped
It's
this
always going to
album.
be stellar.
We said this when him and Danger Mouse dropped the album. The level of his intensity on the raps is based on how great the production is. And when the production gets a little bit more, I guess, lackluster,
Relaxed.
laid back and relaxed, that's the word. He's more relaxed.
Relaxed.
And that's how
Relaxed.
I feel about this project. It's not bad, but it's like you said, he kind of slipped into that relaxed mode where nothing is really dynamic in that way.
That's the problem with rapping with a live band, Mike.
Yeah.
And you probably have known this. You've been with a live band before when the drummer starts.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I can catch that. I can rock that because I'm an MC. You know what I'm saying? That's part of his problem. He's such an MC. He can catch anything, Mike. He catching what they giving him. And it's like, no, I need you to be more selective about this process for who you are as an MC. When I hear Strangers, when I hear Aquamarine, when I hear No Gold Teeth, when I hear the darkest part with Raekwon, it's like, no.
Yeah.
That's different. The joint with Conway, El Lupitas.
Yep.
Like, it's like, no, that's different, fam. Than like those joints that I just named. There's not a song on that album that's even touching those records.
And even with that being said, though, Coop, I still think that he could be in the running for Lyricist of the Year, because he's Black Thought.
The bar work is always going to be spectacular.
It is.
The vernacular is going to be spectacular.
And I don't want to discount that. And, in some of my
rhetoric. You gave him a 4 because of most of that, Mike. So I don't think it's discounting them because I really don't think this album is a 4 without the bar work. It's like if you take the fact that it is black, if you take out the fact that like it's Black Thought and he's still doing elite, supreme MC things, it's not even a 4. It's more like a 3.5. So I think by keep giving him a 4, we are giving him an applause for his bar work and his effort.
He carried the album.
But he's proven, Mike, that he's going to match the production, which means the production needs to be raised up, which means you got to give him. You want to know what I thought of when I listened to this album? It's like he as a lyricist is actually more like Rakim than Nas is. In terms of what he does, that microphone aggression, that lyrics of fury, follow the leader type of feel.
Yeah.
Mike, The Saga Begins by Pete Rock. He needs beats like that. Like something that an MC of his caliber can really toggle into and dissect on some rap shit, Mike. It's too easy for him to catch a live beat. He's been doing it with Quest since he was a teenager. It's like, no.
Does he want to be the Rakim like MC? Because I feel like he's clearly the best in that vein. Like that's the best him, rather.
Yes.
And I don't know if he wants to keep doing that. Maybe he wants to do more roots type of stuff.
If he wants to do more roots type of stuff, that's fine. Like I think he needs to do that. Like how about this? Wouldn't you love to hear Black Thought on some Kanye beats?
I would love to. Gorilla
That's
Monsoon.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like look at what Kanye did comment on B.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what he did for Pusha T on Daytona. Doesn't the idea of somebody like a Black Thought working with somebody like a Kanye excite you? Those are the things that he needs to do, in my opinion.
I agree.
I can't tell the man what he do. He's fucking Black Thought. He might have the best rap name ever.
He might have the best rap name ever. He might be the best spitter ever too. But I agree with you.
I
on
told
that
Mike,
Kanye thing.
this day I'm gonna keep on saying this. It's like, no, the highest level of lyricism in terms of how we measure the standard is Rakim. Nas is the greatest MC of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But the walking standard for bars is Black Thought. It's like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, Mike.
You right? Oh yeah, I'm sorry,
You know
I
what
was
I'm saying?
mistaken. KOD's 2018. Yeah, 2019 was really weak. It really was. Jay Short with the super chat says, for the New Yorkers in the chat, mad about ATL hip hop talk, you should really be mad at Dipset. They opened the door with those 13th grade mediocre bars. Not 13.
You know, I thought about something. When I picked Dipset Anthem as a top 20 beat,
Mm-hmm.
I realized it was the only top 20 beat that really didn't have a top 20 MC on it.
Mm.
So there is something to be said for that.
Jewels
Go
was
look at the other
nice,
beats.
though. I don't want to do that to Jewels. He was
I
nice.
said top 20.
Jewels
No,
was
I'm
nice,
serious.
though. Jewels.
I didn't say that he wasn't. I said top 20. Listen though.
CL
In terms
Smooth's
of
not top
capability,
20.
listen to what I'm saying. In terms of capability, Jewels is not top 20 because Wayne is not even in our top 20, and he's not Wayne. Correct.
Correct.
But look, Mike, Troy, no, that's CL Smooth. CL Smooth got top 20 capabilities. Nothing but a G thing is Snoop Dogg. Cream is Raekwon and Inspector Deck. The Message is Melly Mel. Who Shot is Biggie. Pusha T's on Grindy. Lucchini, you could Sonny Chiba and Geechee Suede, I guess you could say. Guru's on Mass Appeal. Kim and Big are on All About the Benjamin. Mystical's on Here I Go. I guess you could go with that one too. Prodigy's on Quiet Storm. And Shook One's Part 2. Welcome to the Terror Dome's Chuck D. Children's Stories Slick Rick. Ambitions as a Rider is Tupac. Still DRE Snoops again. Microphone Fiend is Rakim. Niggas in Paris is Jay and Kanye. Dipset Anthem is Cameron and Jewels. It's like, no, it's a little different, especially from the New York side of things. It's way different from the New York side of things.
We'll give
So when
Jay-Z
they stand
still
at
DRE as well.
Huh?
Jay-Z bar work on still DRE.
Well, what I'm saying is that look at the New York stuff. It's like, really, if you look at the New York stuff, the only person that's from New York, it's like not like high up on this list, was Geechee Suede and Sonny Chiba on the Lucchini beat, which you thought I may have had too high.
Yeah, and I love
Like
that. I love that.
Right. So when people are talking about the whole lyrical part of Dipset bringing things down, that's what they're speaking to. It's like, look, no, they ain't making no Troy or Cream or Who Shot Ya or Mass Appeal or Quiet Storm, Children's Story, Shook Ones, Microphone Fiend. It's like, no, they didn't do that.
So what do you think of Dipset's impact? Because I think it's huge in that era.
Truthfully, Dipset's impact to me is part of when I realized that the game became deeper than the music. They're one of the reasons that I stopped rapping, actually, Mike, because I realized it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Because it's like at the time, I felt like I could out-rap all of them, like at the drop of a dime, like without any fucking question or flex. Like without any question or flex, I felt that way. And that's when I realized it's like, nah, it's deeper than like the bars. It's like, it's the image, it's the look, it's who you're connected to, it's who you know, it's a whole bunch of things. Because as somebody that liked Cam and always followed Cam and watched his comeuppance, like I've been following Cam since like Pull It and like all the mixtape, the Fantastic Four, so been a Cam fan and just watching what it took for Cam to get there and then watching him actually regress his lyrics to get there, I was like, oh, the game's not a space for
You feel like he regressed his lyrics?
Yes.
I don't know. Because I
No
feel like
fucking question.
I feel like they
He was
bumped up.
rapping next to the Locks and Pun on Banned from TV. What do you mean?
Nah, I think I think Cam's bar work was always there. I think what he did around the Come Home With Me time was he increased the entertainment value. And I think that, there was a big image change, in my opinion.
You're going to lose some lyrics in that, Mike. He lost lyrics in that.
I don't know, man. He gained style.
No, Mike.
He gained style and flow as well.
Right, but here's what I'm saying. But he gained style and flow, but not in a Biggie kind of way. Like Biggie got his style and his flow greater and didn't compromise lyrically, got greater lyrically. Cam regressed lyrically to acquire those things.
I feel like his verse on The Rock is one of his strongest verses, man. Like, go ahead, stupid nigga, go fuck with them chicks. And third little piggy, I'm fuck with them bricks.
I'm gonna tell
Better
you the
yet, the
truth, Mike.
bakery, I got pies and cakes. Niggas think doubling is turning 5 to 8. I turn 8 to 20, 20 to 100, 100 to 1,000. Yeah, that's one of his strongest verses in that
That to
era.
100,000 in
In
front
front
of
of
housing.
housing, close them all down, dog. No one's allowed in. I'm copping everything. I'm
Copping
done with
everything, dog.
browsing.
I'm done with browsing.
It's the what is that?
Now,
Glock
Mike, I'm
Mall,
gonna
Rock
tell
Mall,
you
get your
something.
shit Rock Mall like Hasim Rock Mall.
Now, this is what I mean about who Beanie Siegel is, Mike. This dude from Philly was the type of MC that by the time that those records were being made, niggas in New York talking be like, yo, Cam, you're not gonna let Beans fade you on the record, right?
Beans is
Beans
great.
be getting jet. So understand he came with Beans on that record, Mike. That's why Cam rapping that way.
Here's something you can't understand. How I could just
How
kill
I
a
could
man
just
for
kill a
killing
man
for
for
Cam.
kill a Cam.
Me and my rock killing fam, top villains, man.
Buildings, man. I'll show you how to fill a van.
We disagree on a lot, Coop, but one thing we do agree on is Beanie Siegel was special, man.
Siegel special.
Beanie Siegel's different. And you know what? I will go on record. I will go on record and say I would put Siegel over Jadakiss. During that time, I'm putting Siegel over Jadakiss. Hell yeah. The only reason why that's flipped for me is the longevity part of it. But everything from that era, and especially after the battle, it was a rap for me. After I heard him rap over Put Your Hands Up, I was like, oh, there's no question.
Mike, right around the time when the Nas and Jay thing is actually like going on, it's like I don't even they're the best lyricists. Because at the time it might have been him over them two as well.
I don't know if I'm gonna go there.
That.
I don't know if I'm gonna go there, but I feel where you're coming from.
No. See, this is what I'm saying. Go listen to the Blueprint. Oh no. Lyrically, Siegel. Go listen to Stillmatic. It's like Nas flashes on there. Like the Stillmatic intro, that's that lyrical flash. Mike, the rest of it is the conceptual genius of Nas. Like Rewind. What goes around. What goes around is the lyrical genius too, but it flashed. No. Beans was tearing every fucking thing to shreds around that time, Mike. Not some of the stuff,
right.
All the stuff. That's why in Ether, Nas said, compared to Beans, you whack.
Yeah. Even though
the streets, Mike. That's the streets. That's why Cam's rapping like that on The Rock, because that was a legitimate thought.
I think that bar alone that you're talking about from Ether is why Jay stepped it all the way up bar-wise on the Blueprint too. He said, I'm going to stop this simpleton flow stuff for a minute. Let me get my shit up real quick. Yeah.
Lyrically, Beans was out there.
I mean, yeah, when Jay was rapping like he was rapping on the Dynasty and the Blueprint on Volume 3, yeah, Siegel was on a tear.
Hey, Mike, what's Jay's most intense verse on Volume 3?
Yeah. Put your hands up.
Who there?
Yeah.
What's Cam's most intense verse on Come Home With Me? Who
right
right there?
Right. Yeah.
Beans.
Yeah. Beans was keeping him in check. You know, this is the other thing too, man. Like,
if you want to get your ass tore out the frame out here, Mike.
I know revisionist history, right? Everybody talks about that era. We talk about the Nas and Jay-Z thing, as we should. At the time, this is the Napster Mike. I was more entertained by the undercard battle with Jada and Siegel.
Even Jada was
That's what I was entertained by, because we were getting records all the time.
To put your hands up freestyle, it was like, oh my God.
I wonder if I could still find some of that. Like, I remember hearing Siegel rhyming. I think it was in Philly, or it was Jada rhyming in Philly or something.
I still have the Empire Strikes Back mix CD.
Yeah.
I still have the CD, Mike.
There's a lot on there.
I kept it for that one record.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I don't want to stop. I remember where I was. I'm going to tell you exactly where I was. Shout out to my homie Trio. Trio still follows the show. Trio's a fucking rocket scientist.
That's what's up. Shout out to Trio.
Look here, man. I went to college with Trio. That nigga don't know nothing. He from Greenville, North Carolina, country ass. But you give him some calculus and some rockets, and he'll build a plane. Never seen nothing like it. Trio still follows the show. He hits me up sometimes, like on Instagram and stuff. We still talk. I'm at my band Trio and Byron's crib in Greensboro, and I played the record for him. And I can remember, like, it was like, I'm just gonna walk in the other room and try to act like that didn't just happen to Kiss.
People try to act like that didn't happen. It happened.
He was like, Coop, I got a girl coming over, so you got to get the fuck out. He was like, I'm kicking you out, much like Beans just kicked Kiss out the rap game. That's how vicious the diss was. It's just like, he was like, that was Kiss, Mike. We all looked up to Kiss.
This is Kiss at his peak.
We stopped looking up to Kiss that day. Like, we was playing Knock Yourself Out, and we gonna make it constantly, Mike. And then that came out, it was like,
I think Kiss was probably the most anticipated solo project of that time period because everybody was talking about what Kiss would be outside of the Locks. So it was kind of all hands on deck.
The next J, the next Big.
It was all hands on deck for Kiss the Game Goodbye. You know what I mean? That's why so much is on it. And for him to do this to Kiss in that time period, that's a big deal. Big deal.
Very big deal.
Yeah.
Mike, he killed some of Kiss's buzz.
Yeah, he did.
Like that buzz that Kiss had in the streets, like that's the record that put that shit to a halt. Mike, it was on his own beat. He kept rapping while the beat was going.
I can't even think about hearing Jada's version of Put Your Hands Up without thinking about Siegel.
Mike, I'll never forget when I heard him say "Nah, fuck it, I don't want to stop."
Yeah.
Like when like the song is officially and he's like, "Nah, fuck it, I don't want to stop." I was like, he gonna rap to the tape run off, Mike, because that's back in the day when the tape would run to the tape. I'm like, he gonna rap on it till the tape run off.
That's how Siegel ran, man. Leave it up to Hove, the X out Tommy Buns. Niggas spitting candy bars, sweeter than a Hershey Kiss.
Your name Juan, nigga. Most of you got me sick. Hurting about to work the fifth. How you gonna kick that Pac shit when you roll with Big? It's like, oh man. I was like, how is he gonna kick that Pac shit when he roll with Big? It's like, okay, all right.
And like, those are the type of records I think about, Coop, when you say that Common's the bitch and you is the top 5. It's like, there's no way I could put that over that Siegel record. I can't. I just can't. Like the type of record it is.
Kiss with an Ice Cube.
Yeah, and the level. No, Kiss is an Ice Cube, but Kiss is in a competitive state where he's got to respond. Ice Cube doesn't have to respond to Common in that era. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, however, Black Thought left Earth on the weather song, the best descriptive storytelling ball work that I've heard all year, or on Cheat Codes. Okay. Well, I mean, it's Black Thought. His lyricism is top notch. And like I said, he's still in the Lyricist of the Year category, I think, for this year. Devon Pond with the super chat says, Mickey Diamond's album, Nobody Bleeds Like Flair, is definitely a great album. He's been on a crazy one lately, for real. I hadn't checked that out. Got to check that out. Mickey Diamonds. Let me put that in the notes.
Putting that on the list.
Mickey Diamonds there. Appreciate that. Let's see. Jermaine Johnson also says, Coop, your point regarding not even having to be an elite rapper, the music is the least important element of the music business. Joe Budden. Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah. Let's see. I know we got some more super chats after that back and forth we just did. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, Styles P ended the beef with Siegel with his verse on Break the Rules. State Property didn't respond after that verse. If I remember, Styles did that. Okay. CJ Kidd also says Styles should be over Kiss on a list for that alone. I need to go back and listen to Break the Rules. It's been a minute. Leroy Green with the super chat says, why you guys buy more Jay-Z albums than Beans? Because Jay made better albums. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, also, Coop, do you have more stories like your Biggie / Big L story?
Oh, in Spain. beats.
Jay Short with the
And that
super
really
chat.
happened. You want to know what? That was my first run-in with like a celebrity. I was probably about 13 when that happened. And like, Mike, so every time I talk about Big Mike, I just have that memory of him running away from me in my mind and jumping in that big ass white van. That's real. That really happened in downtown Charlotte. That nigga moved fast, Mike. I'm never getting that out of my head. He booked it. I mean,
Shout out to Big.
he ran a good quarter mile real fast, Mike.
Jay Short with the super chat says, I can still see the Dipset stands headed to the check cashing place to spend their college financial aid on throwbacks in the club, but I digress.
These are facts.
They had the shit on lock, man. I like Dipset's movement. The other entertaining back and forth to me was, well, first of all, I think 50 and Cam's beef might be the funniest beef ever. But when 50 was going at Jada and Styles, man, that got very interesting.
Checkmate by Kiss.
Checkmate's crazy. And see, again, the way that I talk about Put Your Hands Up by Siegel, I feel that way about Checkmate too. That's top
bananas
notch.
too. No, it's bananas on that same level.
Yeah.
Because look, he's like, I'm not gonna get faded like that again, is what he thought.
Problem Child is crazy too, where Styles and Jada going back and forth. Whew. Problem.
Like, let's get to this. Let's talk about some of these albums and then slide up out of here. I got Mickey Diamonds down.
Okay.
I know you enjoyed the Odyssey album. Do you want to share some of your thoughts?
I think Odyssey is just incredibly consistent, man. And I think that he's one of those artists that his catalog, for a lot of us who, speak about people's catalog or MC's catalog, is going to go unspoken for, and it shouldn't. And I guess those are the trials of an independent artist, an independent act. I mean, he is indicative of somebody who does it for the love of music. I think it's a top 3 album this year. I think it's more entertaining than the Black Thought. I don't think it's all around better than Jay Ski's or Conway's album. I think it's more complete than the EP that Currency and JD put out. But I do think that Currency.
What about the Larry June?
I like it better than the Larry June and Alchemist. Okay. I do.
I don't. But
okay. What were your thoughts on Odyssey's album?
I was impressed. And I think some of it is just like, and it might just be the year. It just feels like all these projects are just solid outside the skis.
Exactly. And I'm like, who is going to break the cycle and say, you know what, I'm about to make a dynamic piece? Skis did.
You want to know what? I do think Armin really did do something dope with his album.
I think he did too. I forgot about the Armin. I think that Hit Boy, that's more of an EP. I think it's dope. But I know we're waiting on the next part.
The Hip Hop is 50, Swiss.
It was cool. I mean, again, like you said, I think there's a lot of really cool albums this year outside of Skis. I think
the
Skis.
Harleezy.
I mean, it was cool. I mean, it's better than what he put out before. But if you ask me, I haven't gone back to it. What about College Park by Logic? You still feel high on that?
I was actually thinking about that. The Logic and the Skyzoo is where I was going next. Mm-hmm. I am still fairly high on those. I think if I was making a top 5 right now, Mike, I would probably, Skis is still in first. I think I would go with the Armin, the Conway, the Skyzoo, and the Logic.
Does Benny and Hit Boy have the biggest album that we are looking forward to? Benny, Hit Boy, and Alchemist. Is that the most anticipated album of the year so far?
It's coming out in August, Mike. Yeah. So we still have some time.
Yeah.
But I would tell you, from this trajectory of what we've been getting, that needs to be the album of the year right now based on what we've seen. And if it doesn't, I'm going to call it a disappointment because I would expect him to outperform these things. I was a little surprised at people's reaction to the Conway, some of the mixed reviews from the Conway, because I definitely thought it was the album of the year contender. But I feel like he mostly does those. There are other projects out here, like the Heme just dropped. Mm-hmm. Boldy did Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Mike, the God Fahim, and Nico JP did a quality joint. Mock Homie and the God Fahim, the Notorious Dumps Volume 2 was really, really dope. I enjoyed it. Like, there's some stuff out here. You want to know what? This is like a real underground Kings year.
It really
is. You want to know what I really realized? I realized that,
you breaking up.
Because we started the podcast when the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm.
We might have hated like Griselda's. They might have been more over the ground than we even realized when we started like covering and doing this show, because it's like when I'm looking at these projects, these is underground King type projects, like Black Thought working with a band that nobody really knows probably outside of New York. Bobby James doing Indiana Jones, the God Fahim, Mock Homie, Fuego Bass, Royce, Conway, Armin, Larry June, Swiss, Hit Boy, Jack Harlow, Jay Skis, JD and Currency, Logic, Skazoo. The biggest name on the album list are producers Jermaine Dupri, Hit Boy, Alchemist, Swiss. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I hear news that, and I don't know how true this is, they're saying that Busta Rhymes has an album coming, totally produced by Pharrell, Swiss, and Timbaland.
I've heard that.
What do you think about the possibility of that happening?
I think ELE 2 was 5th in our album of the year, which was his last album 3 years ago, 2020, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Here's what I'll tell you about ELE 2. Isn't ELE 2 better than all these albums except for the Skis?
I think so.
So if he makes something comparable to that, he'll have himself an album of the year contender.
I don't know, man. I want somebody to step it all the way up this year, man.
I'm about to say, but here's what I'm saying though. Even though he came in at 5 in 2020, let's look at the albums that were right ahead of him, Mike. Well, King's Disease was at 4. Alfredo, From a King to a Paris.
Yep.
So it's like literally all the other records that were ahead of him had classic like type material all over them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
let's look at the top albums from last year, man. You know what? There's one album that we haven't listened to that people are speaking highly of, and that's Liberation 2. That's the Talib Kweli and Madlib album.
I've heard great
things.
You
heard it? Okay, you just heard great things.
I've heard great
things. You know what? Based on this year,
I want to go listen tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say, based on this year, I think that I'll find a way to go listen to it. I think somebody sent me the link.
Let's go listen and do an album review on it on Friday.
It's way more accessible than the Black Star album was, so I mean we can find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Let's listen and do a review on it, because for a lot of people it is the album of the year.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's do that. I'll put that in the notes, and I also got Mickey in here too. Mickey Diamonds. Leroy Green with the super chat says, Mike, we have a mutual friend that has an album of the year. It's just not out yet. ... Who is our mutual friend? You talking about Jigga Man? Let's do it, Leroy, man. I mean, let me know when the joint's dropping. I hadn't talked to Jigga. I haven't talked to Jay.
I got like 3-4 minutes and I got to get out of here. You want to throw an artist in the ringer right quick and see where they land?
Sure. Or yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We can do that.
No. Tell me what you were thinking.
No, what I was thinking, I can do that when you know what I'm saying, peace out. I was gonna go through our list and kind of not our list, but the verses that we did, and I wanna do the voting. I know that Jay lost 12-8, but I want to see what it looks like if I pick what I think won.
Me too. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's leave with that, and we'll throw somebody in the ringer on Friday.
Okay, cool. Let's see what we got here. Oh, shit, it's not even on here. Hold on 1 second. Got a blank screen on these folks.
It's very problematic.
Wait a minute. It was just right here. Hold on 1 second, people. No, that's not going to work. I know you got to go in a second. Because I want to see if any of those things are aligned. Okay, here we go. I think I got it. Because, I mean, I don't know. I think Jay losing like that May have lost, but not like that.
Like that. I told you, Mike, if I would have scored it, I had it closer to like being like a draw. The way that I had it scored based on the records that you played.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the two people that we're picking, I realized two people are never going to be totally satisfied with the records that we're
Of
picking.
course, man. I mean, that's just part of the game. You know what I mean? Hold on, I got it right here. I'm about to pull it up. Don't dip out on us yet, y'all. Because a couple of them I was really surprised with. I think this is it right here. Damn it, it's not. Oh, here it is. I got it. Boom. Live television. Okay. So, Black Republican and Fast Life. I'm giving that Fast Life. What say you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I told you Fast Life is a more classic record.
Okay. I'm with that. Money Ain't a Thing and Triple Beam Dream. I'm going Money Ain't a Thing on that.
I'm not totally okay with that because I feel like the bar work is so superior, but I understand your rationale and we can rock with that.
Okay. Three Kings, It's Mine. That's It's Mine.
That's fine.
Diamonds Remix, Body in the Trunk. I got Diamonds Remix.
I'm cool with that too.
So Paul, John Blaze. I go So Paul from top.
I'm cool with tying that.
Okay. We could tie that. I'm cool with tying that too because John Blaze means a lot.
Okay with tying that. Yeah.
Okay. Dear Summer and Echo. I love Echo, but I think that's Dear Summer.
See, how about this? I was never the Dear. I don't love the Dear, and not about Jay. I don't love the Dear Summer beat the way everybody else does.
I like his performance, but yeah, I would
cool
pick Dear Summer here. You cool with tying that?
I was cool with tying Echo and Dear Summer. I think they are really comparable records.
Go Crazy remix and Nas album done. I think that's Go Crazy.
I agree.
Ghost of Soldier Slim and Rich and Black. I think that's Rich and Black.
I agree.
Is That Your Chick and Why You Hate the Game? I think that's Is That Your Chick.
I would agree. I probably should have played Letter to the King instead.
Letter to the King is incredible. I think you should have. I love
that was me not listening to my gut. I listened to what I thought was going to play better live.
I did that with Mr. Carter, man. I really should have played Pound Cake there, but I didn't. I love the dough over Show Discipline, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Guess Who's Back and More Money, More Murder.
I'm going to tell you More Money, More Murder, but I'm cool with drawing that.
Okay. I'm cool with the draw. Maybach Music and We Major, that's We Major.
Yeah.
What We Do and Live at the Barbecue, I think that's What We Do, but Live at the Barbecue is so classic.
I think that's a tie for different reasons.
Okay. I can live with a tie on that. Once again, it's on over hip hop to me.
I agree with that too, even though most people don't. I agree with
I think conceptually, hip hop is, it could be technically the better song, but I think once again, it's on kind of translates a little better. Drug Dealers Anonymous over The Essence to me.
I'm cool with that.
Never Let Me Down over How You Living.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's cool.
Welcome to New York City over TikTok.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either one of those records, really. You can have that one, yeah.
And I think Nas wins the rest. What's Free versus Eye for an Eye. That's Eye for an Eye. Mr. Carter versus Let My Niggas Live. Let My Niggas Live. God Did versus Verbal Intercourse.
Yeah. So what's the tally look like?
Something's not right here. It looks like we got 4 ties here, right?
Right.
And Nas has 7. So at 4 ties, I think one of these J things got miscalculated. So 4 ties.
But okay.
4 ties. So we got 6 here. Yeah, it looks 9 J and 7 Nas and 4 ties.
9 J, 7 Nas, 4 ties.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Um,
We'll
but
see.
the
I
people
didn't get
got
to play
12.
some of the records that I wanted to play, Mike. Like I feel like if had I got to play Blood Money 2 and Where
Hmm.
Y'all At, like I don't think people understand what Where Y'all At is. Where Y'all At is like still like prime Nas, like doing prime Nas things.
You know, when we were playing like the records just back to back after we did the verses, I'm sitting there like, man, I should have played Young G's. I should have played this. I should have played
Right.
that. I went
No, same thing
against,
happened to me.
yeah,
It's what happens with greatness.
I should have studied more. I thought I could just kind of go off the cuff and look at what was on paper. I should have just listened and been like, you know what? No, I'm not going to play Mr. Carter. I should have listened to Mr. Carter before I played it. And be like, no, it's
Yeah.
not a good idea. Just Blaze did
No, you're
that
right.
beat too. It's
I should
crazy.
have listened to How You Living and The Essence. It's just been so long. I
Yeah.
don't listen to those records anymore. I should have listened to, you know, I really should listen to, I should have listened to The Letter of the King and Why You Hate the Game back to back. That was probably my biggest misstep in my opinion.
I should have
I think
listened to Maybach music, man. But I still like Maybach music, but people don't think of it in that way.
I like Body in the Trunk too, Michael. Part of why I just threw Body in the Trunk out there. It's like, oh, you play Diamonds? I was like, nah, I don't play this Body in the Trunk. I ain't want to play We Major and even risk it. It's like, no, We Major's a win. I'm going to make sure We Major wins.
You want to make sure that We Major gets in there. No, for
Right.
real. CJ Kid, before we get out of here, says, could you guys put MF Doom through the list on Friday? Sure, we will. We're going to get into...
Mike, he's actually at the top of the list of people to put in.
Okay.
I literally have Doom, Z, Tretch, MJG, and CeeLo in the next 5.
Doom is... Doom's an all-time great. This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Told you, everybody that you love ain't making this top 50.
Just like every song that people love didn't make the Atlanta list. It's fine. Every song I love didn't make it.
Like this. How about this, Mike? Is CeeLo's I Wish going to win Song of the Year for that year? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Is that going to win for Cali? Is it not Cali enough?
I got to ask the people in Cali. That's why I asked the people in New York to make this list. I'm not qualified as an out-of-towner.
New Yorkers, Mike, they might go $150 over this list.
They might.
$7.50.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would love for somebody that's from LA or somebody from the Bay to put together a list like this, because an out-of-towner can't tell you certain things that people from the soil can, you know? So I'm not qualified to put together a Cali list. If I did that, it'd be nothing but Dr. Dre shit. Leroy Green with the super chat says, Mike, you know Nas has no response to Crazy in Love, Umbrella, Suit and Tie, and other records like that from Jay. I'm glad you went street records, but... Well, see, the thing is, Leroy, if I would have played Crazy in Love and this nigga plays Body in the Trunk or something, you really think I'm going to win that?
I got to go, guys.
One more super chat. Our man with the super chat says, peace. Who has the best feature this year so far? The choices I have is Love the Genius on Won't He Do It, Big Sean on Palisades, and Conway on Symmetry. I might go Big Sean right now.
The Big Sean verse was pretty special.
It's pretty tough.
Symmetry,
and not to discount any of the other verses, but yeah.
I like those choices that our man provided, though. Those are some dope choices.
I think those are some of the best verses all year.
That might be that's some of Sean's best bar work, Mike.
Hey man, Sean's consistent with the bar work. I'll give him that. All right, let's get up out of here, man. We'll see you Friday. See you guys Friday. Oh yeah, if y'all want to get one of the free shirts, I think today really is officially the last day. We didn't realize that we kept it up there. So if you want to get a free According to Hip Hop shirt, go to the community section, hit the link. If it's still live, see if you can catch it. And all the other people's shirts are on the way. We're going to holler at you. We'll see you Friday.